All right, everybody. We're going to have a brief announcement from our stream head consular and head event organizer. Let me get the camera on the casters here. So, LJ, what's up, dude?
I think I take this.
I can hear you a lot clearer.
You can hear me a lot more clearly.
So, John and I had decided that we wanted to give you something
okay.
for missing so many major events to bring them to the people so they could be covered. And so we had a couple specific judge medals that we were able to give away at our discretion. And we have this one here called My Ally is the Force.
Oh my God.
Because you are the ominous presence behind our events. So show that there.
Oh my God.
So these are one of the Adepticon medals. And, you know, we think you deserve it. I'm going to go answer a judge call.
I've never had one of these.
And I'll let John talk a little more if he wants to.
Oh my God, I've never had one of these before. Holy crap, dude. This is so sick. Oh my God.
Just a question on this piece.
That's amazing.
Is
Hi,
it
John.
inside
Your
of
turn to talk.
one of the deployments,
David,
so
I would
is it
really
an
like
eligible?
to thank you for
We
all
ruled
that
that's
you've
one
done to
piece.
contribute to this community and the culture of Star Wars Legion.
Personally,
There's a lot of games in the world, you know, and
so
even at this
basic
event,
terrain
that
is
have
just
communities
out,
that can have ups and downs, but you were always a
Okay.
voice of positivity.
But you can touch
And
it
I will tell you,
inside
our
of
relationship
one
did not
with a
start off the
cylinder.
best.
It
I think
did
at one
not.
point we were not enemies, but we were definitely
not friends.
extend from the base.
But over time, I think I can say I've come to call you a friend.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
You've been fantastic. You've been a huge part of this. I
Area
was
difficult.
extremely happy to have you here, and I can think of no one better to give that medal to.
Dude, I am honored.
Yeah, and the cylinder comes
I am
from
honored
every
and I
part
am
of the model.
humbled at the same time.
Good.
Dude,
I look
thank
forward
you.
to continuing to work with you
Me too.
and continue having such a great stream. Thank you, everyone who's watching this guy, watching all these guys. We're continuing to put out great content for you. Enjoy, please.
All right. Thank you, guys. It's an honor, really and truly, to get this medal from Adepticon, and we're gonna get into the game here. It's gonna be Dustin KUPiranha Grorud versus Peter Xiconia Lyons. We're gonna have. I'm gonna show you the turn 0 here. It is hostile environment, key positions in disarray. Blizzard Force for KUPiranha versus Xiconia playing Boba Bosk Double Dark Troopers. It's gonna be one heck of a match here. I'm gonna take a little second to breathe, and I'm going to make sure the overlay is correctly set up here. But we're gonna get right back into this game in just a second, guys. So hang in there. We'll be back. Okay, guys, we're going to mute the players for just a second while we introduce this game. It is, once again, Dustin KUPiranha Grorud versus Peter Xiconia Lyons. It is turn 0. We've got a really, really cool match for you guys. We've got blue player as Blizzard Force 4 bikes versus Peter Xiconia Lyons in the red with double Dark Trooper Boba and Bosk. And I want to introduce my co-hosts today. For this match, I've got Matt Zeusjus Bronson, who has a bye.
Yep.
So he is here as the bye, and he's going to be joining us for this cast, and as well as Simon Fullalove from the United Kingdom is going to come in and speak with us as well. He's going to be here for the match, and guys, I'm going to hook it over to Matt because Matt has some really interesting thoughts about this matchup and the way that the turn 0 fell out.
Yeah, I just turned to David and said, man, I already have a lot of thoughts coming at turn 0 here. So
I've actually practiced this matchup a decent amount as far as a double dark player into Blizzard Force. A couple things to note. So, the first thing, the turn of the cards at turn 0. So obviously we ended up with Hostile, Disarray, and Key Positions. The way the cards came down was actually, I'd say, pretty favorable for Blizzard because Breakthrough and Bombing Run were in the first 2 slots. Now, he couldn't force either of those. So like slots 2, 3 would have been better, but it did mean that Peter had to ban twice to get out of those because those are not the objectives you want to play as double darks into Blizzard Force because you just Breakthrough's tough against quad bikes.
Right.
And Bombing Run is the no-go objective.
I mean, Dark Troopers are mobile, but not that mobile.
They're straight line mobile, and like, especially in this matchup, I like to kill like one unit, one bike model from every bike and not leave any double bikes. But on Breakthrough, that's really bad because then those bikes just nope out of there. They come back, they score at the end of the game. But what that meant is, because he needed to spend both of his bans taking out the objectives to get to KP, which I think is the best objective for him to take, it did mean that they got Disarray as the deployment, which is also really bad. You don't really want to split up that army. He does have one Dark Trooper that has no programmed loyalty, so if he puts that one over there, he doesn't really lose anything, but you don't really want to isolate your units. So I'd say Disarray very good for the blue player. For Blizzard Force in this matchup, because they can just put one of their 4 bikes over there and they're fine. They don't care. They can reposition it as needed.
Right, they'll just run it away. Meanwhile, Peter has to strand a unit.
Yeah.
Maybe one of his more independent units, but I mean, I don't know which unit you throw over there. Maybe just an unlucky unit of snowtroopers.
It's tough because if you put a snowtrooper unit there, they could just get a couple bike shots and they're gone.
Right.
And it's are you going to shoot a snowtrooper unit when you've got Bosk, Boba, and 2 darks on the other side? Maybe not, but activations are activations, and picking them up is really nice. So a couple other things to note, having played this matchup, is that, so when I was playing it, I did not have Bosk. I had 6th man on the darks instead, and more order control. The way that Peter has approached it, he's gotten that extra bounty hunter, which I think is really great in the mirror. I think into Blizzard, I'm not sure. Because, yes, Bosk will add some really big ranged options. He's got the double bounty options, which makes it a lot easier to collect a bounty. But I've found having that last Dark Trooper really helps keep those heavies alive. Because Blizzard they obviously have a lot of impact, but I found that extra Dark Trooper to be the difference maker. And the other thing I really liked is having order control. Because I could reverse sort my bag with Shores and Mortars, with Rule with Respect, to have 4 Dark Troopers and the officer in the bag. And then you could wait for the bikes to go. You could get maybe 3 shots off with your own Dark Troopers. Here, he doesn't really have those options. So the Dark Troopers might have to go early. Maybe they'll go late. But if they have to go earlier and they move into the bikes, that's a lot better for Blizzard Force than if the bikes had to go early and move into the darks.
Right.
It's physically impossible, without line of sight blocking aside. You cannot move a bike into range 3 to shoot a Dark Trooper and then move out of range 3 with your following move. You can't move, shoot, move to a spot where the darks cannot move and attack you.
Right, because of this double activation stuff that the Dark Troopers are doing.
Even with one activation.
Wow.
So if you move, shoot, move, if a line of sight and, as long as the Dark Troopers can go straight towards wherever you went and see you, they will have range to move and shoot you.
Wow.
Which is big.
That is huge.
And this table, there's a couple really big rocks, but I don't think the trees, because they're circular, I don't think they're going to be good enough LOS blockers for the bikes to be able to move, shoot, and move out of line of sight.
I think I highly agree with you, and I just want to let Stream know this is the kind of analysis that you need, the kind of analyst that we're looking for.
Yeah, you need someone who
we need someone who can
0-1 and got the bye on day 2 of Worlds.
Day 2,
for sure. Yeah.
But this is sort of what is going through. I mean, like we can't really call them pro players, but like really high level players.
If you want to pay me, I'll take it.
Yeah, exactly.
And then we can use that.
If you want to pay people to play Legion, this is the kind of stuff you would do. But I mean, like this is just this is the high level of analysis that we need. We also have, and I want Simon to read this. We also have some information on these 2 contestants.
Okay, so where do you want me to go from? So we got Dustin from Denver, Total Escape Games. That's where he's playing, and so that's Sabine Tons.
Yeah, that's what he qualified with.
Oh, that's what he qualified with. Ah, cool. Right. All right.
Back in the day.
Back in the day, Sabine Tons.
And then we've got Peter, and that's Walgett, Australia. Snowflake Discord. All right, fair enough. Love that. And then 13 CIS activation with Staps. So that's quite prevalent in the UK, actually.
Oh, really?
13 Staps, or pretty much 3 Staps with anything at the moment is what a lot of CIS players are playing.
So both these guys qualified with not only very different lists, but completely different factions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So definitely like a broad set of, diverse set of factions there. Totally different styles. I mean, but you're both. But the only similarity between those two styles, I think, is that they both have like fast units.
Yep.
Yeah, but those are they play completely differently. Tauntauns are melee heavy, and Stap Riders just get that range and that double move agile stuff going on.
And it was Peter who played the 13-act Staps, right?
Yes.
So
yeah, Peter.
the guy who played bikes to qualify is not the guy playing bikes here.
Oh no, he's not playing bikes here. He's playing the
Tons and speeder bikes. Yeah, they do similar things. Not quite the same, but you were a Sabine Tons guy.
I was a Sabine Tons guy back in the day. I lost to Michael Berry playing Vader Bosk.
Haven't we all?
We have. Michael is very.
I haven't.
Michael is Michael is an excellent player. And I just remember him back in LVO 20. He zapped my sniper strike teams with his reptilian rampage.
I'm just trying to see the third KP here. We've got, obviously the one in the middle is a bit of the small piece of the crashed X-Wing. We've got one on the tree that I think is going to be
on the rocket. Yeah, it's on the down just off the center.
We can see on screen here. Kind of to the right middle of the screen, there's a small rock. So from what I understand overhearing the players, they've said that those bases are not going to be counted for any parts of cover for the terrain, but it will count as far as if you are touching the round base of the tree, you are touching that.
Yeah, they had a couple. They tried to put a couple of different minis on, different positions, see how if they, try and lean them in. There was just straight falling. So they mutually agreed to retcon that one. That was
which makes sense.
Yeah,
and I think they're probably doing the same because it's hostile environment. So if you're touching that, you could remove a suppression. So that's good. The Dark Trooper unit leader, very difficult to balance because they're very top heavy.
Yeah,
with those rocket boots.
So Peter is actually using one. His unit leader is actually a Myrtleizer unit. Mini.
Okay.
Yeah, that's because one has, and I don't know which one is which. I didn't hear that bit. But one has got programmed, one hasn't. So instead of having something that may not have been official, these just swapped it out. The guys over there were okay with it. Dustin's okay with it.
Perfect. Okay. Looks like we got Boba going down. This is one of the big, maybe not disadvantages, but one of the tricks with running a double darks list is that, sure, the darks have great straight line speed, but you have to make sure that you point them in the right direction early, so you have to put them down in a good spot, but you only have 8 deployments. Once the game starts, it feels like 10 when they're going twice, but 8 deployments it feels lacking for me. It certainly does. Least.
You end up, I think if you could actually pass in the deployment as well, I think that would help these lower act activation lists, especially for that, because as soon as if you're playing a 10, 11 act, well, anything above really 8 or 9, and you're at the 8 mark, you just feel like you're getting rushed on your deployments.
Yeah, for sure. I think if darks didn't exist, I would want to pass in deployment, but then given the existence of darks, it's like, now give them a pass in deployment, when really once the game starts they're 10, it's like, oh man, I don't want to buff them at all.
Yeah, just keep it to say you can't have it if you're playing darks. There's your thing.
Well, yeah, I'm sure something will happen to darks eventually, but that's speculation.
It's an unknown future date.
They are very real and present here and now.
That's a future update sort of announcement.
This will be made more clear.
In a future
update.
That's the quote.
That's the quote. Yes.
But
and in fact, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, given all that we're talking about, being red as darks is not the worst thing because blue player deploys first, they put something down, and then you can start counter deploying, and you can at least go somewhere useful with your darks eventually. You still don't want to put them down first, most likely, but maybe they declare which side of the board they're going to go to, right? Or something like that. So you know, okay, that's the area where, even though they've just put one unit down, their whole army's probably going to be in that corner. So I'll start deploying that direction with my chaff.
And I'd say that's fair in most things, but disarray, that could also that's just a red herring.
Yeah.
You know, very simply can just be a case of especially with bikes, snow, something like that. You know, it's like, right, I can start here, but
I think maybe one of, you could say, the advantages of Peter's list is that he's not relying on his core to do anything super useful.
Yeah.
They're naked storms and they're naked storms and snows. Whereas for me, I always found that I wanted that supplemental damage from the mortars and even from the shores sometimes. So I would want to make them active. If he puts down a unit and then decides he wants to put the rest of his army somewhere else, sure, whatever. Versus if you put a shore unit down, then my mortar has to go next to it, and now they're both out of position.
Yeah, that's limited. That then does project exactly where you're going to go from there, doesn't it?
So, yeah, that's an advantage of 3 naked. So here we go, command cards turn 1.
Yep, command cards turn 1. I'm going to go ahead and turn the player mics back on and turn it down just a little bit.
Perfect. We've got Darkness Descends, and I didn't quite see, I think it was standing orders.
Oh, sorry.
We're gonna make sure the tray goes into the tray. So Darkness Descends and Standing Orders.
Yep.
There we go. So we see Boba being pre-measured, looking for a bike model.
This is going to be a little bit messy, but it's program loyalty aim, boss 2 surge tokens. Yep.
Program loyalty for the aim to the front guy. And the surges are
Bosks, independent.
Perfect. That's not so messy.
I'm trying to look what ended up in the far disarray zone.
Yeah, I don't see the.
There's a set of snows in the far end for Peter,
and then the white bikes ended up in the disarray for Dustin.
So there's snows. I think this
should probably.
Or is it over there? So whichever counter it is, it should be. There are some blue snows. You can see it better
you can
on
see
this.
You can see better on the screen.
Yeah. Right
let me cut over there. Yeah, you can see it better on the right side of your screen.
Just to mark
the snow troopers for disarray.
So that's a pretty good spot for them.
Thing.
Yep. Spent. We're gonna spend it
so
for
it makes
dodge.
sense. I think that's probably the right call, because obviously this list is all about the Dark Troopers. You don't want to let Blizzard isolate on the Dark Troopers.
We're going to compulsory.
If they went towards one, they're going away from the other one.
Right.
And it's going to be a bad day.
The snows are going to be somewhat hard to reach.
Yeah.
Check. I think we got to move again.
Okay, so
one thing you might have to worry about there is his basing.
Yeah, making sure he's staying on the board. Of course, now you can leave
get
the
a
board and
cover
come
call
back,
here?
which is a great change. I like that. Makes speeders feel
here,
exciting.
we said the rocks are the cover and the bases are nothing.
Yep.
Just asking for a cover call on those snows.
So he's made one move. We're checking for cover, so we don't know if he's going to aim, attack, or whatnot. Looks like he transponder to dodge. I don't think you take the aim. Those snows aren't worth it. You just move forward more and get further away from Boba. Because where those bikes are now, Boba can definitely move in and start chipping away at them.
Okay, guys, I'm just going to cut in and say that the giveaway is actually new. We're going to give away a set of Battle Force cards.
Okay.
It's going to be all 4 Battle Forces.
We're going to go.
They're all alternate art cards.
I don't think it's going to get.
So go ahead and enter hashtag giveaway.
I'm just going to jump in the chat real quick.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh,
So
look
go
at
ahead.
those.
Look at those bad
We need
boys.
to get away. We're not going to aim.
So
Not
feel
gonna
free
aim.
to enter hashtag giveaway to win a set.
Keep going.
Potentially, we're going to give that away in about half an hour.
And we'll
So you
take
got
the
30
shot
minutes
from
to
here.
get your entries in.
And I don't think that improved the situation. Yeah. So same
Okay,
shot.
so he does go with the another move from the bikes there.
No aim.
Cover or?
Yeah, heavy cover.
Yeah.
Heavy cover, no aim. So won't do a ton of damage, most likely.
One,
just
two to
one
cover,
pass
one
cover.
through.
Yep.
Save.
Loves it.
So
Oh,
just
chuck
the
him with
suppression
suppression.
on those snows.
Those pro snows can no longer panic off the board.
Oh, you
Yeah,
got it?
which is nice, for sure.
All right, stack.
Yeah, if they get loaded up with suppression and just kind of hang out where they're at, it's not a problem at all.
No, not at all. Just push it closer to your mouth if you can.
There we go.
That's better.
Okay.
Yeah. And I can turn you up a little bit too.
I've been told I was very quiet, but I'm a loud person.
I'll turn you up.
Maybe part of the problem was felt much too loud. I didn't want the players to hear me, so I'm trying to.
No, that's better.
More golf
that's more
commentator.
level.
Okay, good.
I shout. I can't help myself.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we're seeing Xiconia making his first move with his commander.
She's just going to jump on the area terrain, and she gave a dodge 2.
She gave a
unit
dodge.
Doesn't yet have a name. Not a dodge, a name.
Okay.
Yep, dragon.
I like to see, one of the cool things about the event is kind of seeing what different groups came up with and brought to the tournament, because I played another Australian, Mitchell, Mediocre Mitch from the Discord, round 1 yesterday. He was running almost the same list. He had 3 Naked Storms instead of a couple Snows, but Boba, Bosk, Double Darks. So it's cool to see, like, it seems like there's an Australian contingent testing amongst themselves and figuring out, like, hey, this is the list that we want to bring. And you kind of see that, with the Germans and less, different pockets of North America as well. But it's cool to see. It's another aspect to something like this when we have a true world championship coming together of players.
So we were practicing with Andy Terrell. He's been practicing with the Double Dark Remnant.
That's AJST, right?
Yeah, it's AJST.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry. And he's been pretty much like banked game after game after game with the Remnant list. And none of us really sort of bought into it. We were sticking to what we know for games like Dave Grant was sticking with his same absolute horror of a list. And then the guys that just jumped on the Blizzard bandwagon have just stayed with Blizzard. So yeah, AJ really dove in deep there, because he was really toying with the idea of, like, do I go with a Sarge when a Sarge comes out, because he's been proxying the cards since they were released. So on the greater tournament scale in the UK, Darks have slowed. There was one event a bit more before we came out. They were relatively high, but everyone just turned up with Impact, so they were just completely stopped dead. Nobody had less than Impact 10 in their list. And so yeah, they were just literally just like, yeah, we can't do it. A couple of guys actually dropped because they just weren't getting anywhere.
Okay, so that explains why lower representation of Darks amongst the UK lists.
Yeah, one guy, one list. He had a dream. He's still here.
They're also
he's still going.
Speaking of dreams that are still going, there is one Rebel player still left in the tournament who is able to get to the top 8.
There you go with the snow troopers that got shot at.
It turns out there were 7 Rebels that made it, and 6 out of them lost their first round.
They don't mind.
Yeah, it's a tough time to be a Rebel for sure, unfortunately. But we got Ahsoka coming in a couple months.
Yeah.
We'll see how that goes.
We'll see.
Might breathe some new life into the faction.
Hopefully fantastic, because she's an operative, isn't she? So
yeah,
that's really going to help them, because I think their operatives are really cool, but an actual Force user to marry up with the rest of the factions.
Yeah.
Op Luke is great, but obviously he's very expensive.
Right.
Commander Luke is not as great. So if you can get a good Jedi in between those price points, especially if it's down at that lower kind of 160-ish price point that we've seen a lot of Maul, Ventress, even Anakin at that 160 and good, as opposed to Commander Luke, who's 160 and not good.
Not great.
So hopefully that could open up some good stuff for Rebels.
I'm hoping personally that because Ahsoka will only have 3 command cards, that I could pair her with Cassian K2.
She'll have 4 because she has a team up with Sabine.
Right. She has a team up with Sabine.
But I am also eyeing that Cassian.
I'm looking at Cassian K2, yeah, because I mean, like, Cassian supports other heroes really well.
He does.
With Last Stand and Volunteer Mission.
Mm-hmm.
Those are like the big ones, and plus crack shots, just really
good.
good.
And his sniping is awesome.
To keep me honest, so you're aware.
I worry for Rebels. They just don't have great impact options, right? Like, you look at the Empire, they can just toss some cheap HH-12s on, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Droids can toss on some cheap rockets. Empire has bikes, which are already good. Like, Rebels have FDs. I think this is the time for FDs, but as far as core answers, they don't really have a lot, which makes things tough.
Core level anti-impact is a little bit sparse for Rebels. They have some impact, but it's either short-ranged or it has to recover.
Yeah, or both.
Or both.
Yeah, or both. Yeah.
Yeah, it's tough.
See, I am more looking towards the Sabine, so I can marry up with some more Mandalorians, because I'm all about the Mandos.
I love the Mandos.
If Mandos were actually more like Mandalorians, it'd be much better, but we have to deal with what we got.
Yeah.
So if that team-up card makes a word of a difference, I am all for it, and that's pretty much where I'm going to be.
That'll be good, because Sabine's another character who had a heyday. We were talking about it earlier, Sabine Tons back in the day. She was great. She's gotten edged out, I would say. Like,
she's been pushed out.
Especially when Imperial, we shouldn't compare things to Imperial Boba, but he's at 120 and Sabine's at 125.
Yeah, I mean, Imperial Boba is just off the scale in terms of power for points.
Gunslinger with a Rainbow Surge crit, no sharpshooter, doesn't cut it anymore.
No, it really
Even her
doesn't.
explosions doesn't really cut it anymore.
Yeah, only 2 dice, and then things generally have dodges or some other kind of mitigation.
Yeah.
But it's like, no, you can't even say, oh, well, I'll take her for the Saber to be able to run in and, zip round, run in, tie up some units, get some Pierce on the go, because you got Mando.
Yeah.
I mean, I find he hasn't got the Darksaber, but the Beskar Spear is better, in my opinion.
Or even the Amban. Like, if you're building a Mando unit to 140, which they kind of both are, if you're taking Sabine Darksaber versus Mando, I'm taking Mando. I think still he's a little overcosted, but like I take him instead. He can do more things.
He's overcosted?
I think he's a little too expensive still.
I would say he's probably not enough.
Okay, interesting.
Okay.
Fight.
See, he rocks out around about 150, 153 in the UK, and that's just that's it now. He's taken out a unit. He's moving around. He's getting the work done.
I just feel like in the same role, like, I don't know, man. Like, I get it. Like, if you compared him to Commander Luke, he's like obviously better. But if you compared him to like say Sabine, I think there's definitely a close. It's a close call between the two of them, and I really don't think Mando is undercost.
I just look at what, for me, it's that 120-ish price point. You see, like, IG-88, when he's decked out with some upgrades, he's hitting 120. Cad Bane's hitting 120.
Right.
Boba, again, undercosted for sure, but he's coming in at 125 with upgrades, right? Because he doesn't need anything. I don't think Mando's he can do a bit more than some of those characters, but I don't think he's 20, 30 points more, personally.
No, but he's coming in with he's coming in with that 15-point tax for the jetpack before before you even start.
You want it. You want the jetpack.
Yeah, before you even start, you're up at Sabine costing before you even put anything else on. So, yeah, I see where you're coming from there. There's valid points.
Did we see any dins?
There was a din in the tournament. I don't know what happened to it.
Probably
I think it got
not
eliminated.
good things. Yeah.
It probably got eliminated.
Yeah, just to bring things back to Worlds here, I guess. We're seeing a lot of cagey play here, turn one. The Darks. Yeah, the Darks are moving sideways, which I'm not a big fan of. But they are using that large rock there to kind of shield the approach and get a bit closer. Now that rock is above height 1, so that is not something that they can just climb over. They're going to have to go around it. So that does make things a little bit tougher there for Peter, but not insurmountable at all. Like, they can go around no problem. But they'll have to get closer to see around it and more towards Vader.
One action move. Height 2. Scale.
Yeah, you got the cool stuff.
Oh yeah, looking for Boss to scale the height 2 brick there.
Yeah.
Big cliff.
New scale.
What's a height 1 going to get me to?
This seems early. This seems very early for Bosk. He does have surges this turn because of independence, so he's a bit better at saving, but he can disappear fast. He can disappear real fast.
Against 4-speeder bikes, absolutely. He can just vanish.
Yeah, I assume he has Reptilian. I don't know if he has lying in wait. I would guess he does.
2 storms shooting at me.
You don't want to lose 2.
Storms would have to get to that point.
You don't want to lose 2 command cards at this stage for marginal returns.
To do that, no, not yet.
Yeah, he's making
the
the
right call.
call.
His second action was to move and touch the terrain piece. Okay.
Yeah, the good thing is, maybe next turn he wants to play
you got
Reptilian Rampage, or not. He wants to play Lion in Wait. It's a slow card. He can just hold Bosk in that safe zone, accumulate a ton of aims, end of the turn, pop up, hit something with 5 crits, maybe even, the Imperial Officer, collect a bounty, depending on what Dustin, where he puts her. And then first thing next turn, shoot twice with Reptilian Rampage, jump back down. At worst, you're taking maybe 1 shot. Because the good thing about being on that height 2, Vader's Might can't pull you down.
Right.
Vader can't do anything to you, other than throw 2 black, which whatever.
Doesn't really do
it's not doing anything.
To an individual model.
Right? Because you can't force push off of that. Vader's Might can only change height 1.
Purple dodge standby.
There's not a lot going on. He could force push Bosk maybe closer to the edge of the rock, so Bosk can't scale down into a safe spot because he's further away, because it's only a speed 1 move still.
He'd be limited to speed 1, yes.
Yeah. But even then, if it's a Reptilian Rampage turn, it's like, okay, well, I attack once, take a wound to move, and then use an action to move.
Right.
It's not the end of the world. This version has Seize on Bosk as well, which I really like, because Bosk does like that order to control, because he basically wants to be last firsting the whole game, up on top, shoot, go back down.
So for those of you just joining us, welcome. This is round 2 of day 2 of the Star Wars Legion 2023 World Championship. I am joined today on the mic by Matt Zeusjus Bronson from Canada.
Hello.
And I am joined by Simon Fullalove, Misplay Fullalove from the UK.
There's a lot of that going on.
No judgment here.
No. I own it.
We're playing KP.
The one thing that I don't love about the setup, so for me personally, when I play KP, I like to put the one I get to choose, I like to get pretty close to the center KP, so that you can have a bulk of units kind of in the middle, and if they need to flex to go back to your home KP, they can, or they can crash the middle. If you space them too far apart, you have to really commit well before turn 6. Well, or by turn 6, you're not going to either one, usually. And the reason that could be an issue here, either he keeps a couple of units back, Peter does, by the tree, and well, really both players are kind of doing the same thing. If they keep a few units back, they're not threatening the middle. And for Peter especially, if he moves those snow troopers forward, especially snows, they don't have a lot of speed to change directions, then it's easy enough for 1 or 2 bikes to loop around the back and back cap that KP, and that can be game changing. Because it's like a lot of the time you're thinking, oh, it's all about the middle one. You take your home one for granted, and then boom, now you don't have your home one. Maybe I tie on the middle and I win my own, or actually you're too focused on the center, I win yours and mine, and I win KP. All right, so that's something that's got to be careful about with the speed of these bikes. Now, to do that, they'll have to probably go past some Dark Troopers. But if Dark Troopers are moving sideways, they're not moving forwards. So that could be okay for Dustin.
Well, he does have those 2 units over there, those bikes there facing those snows.
On that angled
so once he's taken out those snows out there, I mean, you've got one set of bikes that is literally just going to come all. You can come all the way in, take them from the flank there. If they go first and they get the white ones with the wound already on, I mean, just pivot, come back in, take it away. Or would you say that you would sort of like ships in the night? Fly past each other?
Yeah, it'll depend how it goes. I think certainly he's going to want to get that white bike out of there. No need to get shots too early.
No.
Darks can blow up bikes very quickly, so he does have to be careful. But they are the big source of impact, so at some point he's going to have to bring them crashing down.
Yeah, sure.
Vader's might let you pull off height 1?
Yeah.
This is height 2.
Oh, yeah.
So Xiconia just confirming with his opponent that what we were mentioning earlier about Vader's might not being able to pull off of height 2. Boba Fett.
Oh. Okay, yeah. I was looking at the wrong rock there for Dustin. He's actually got the rock at the bottom of the screen, so that's much closer to the middle. So I do like that placement, but it's almost so close that his opponent will have a choice of maybe threatening that or the middle. So that's actually going to be very interesting.
Dark Troopers could certainly threaten both KPs very easily.
Very quickly.
And if they're standing in the middle and you have units on those KPs, they can just shoot those units up.
Right, and that's not
whichever
what you
one.
want.
No.
Yeah.
If the Darks are alive at the end of the game, it's probably very bad for Blizzard regardless.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, it's going to make things interesting. Of course, I think a lot of these placements, if you look at the center KP, there's a lot of the terrain around it. Looks like it's at range 1 of it, and you can't choose those if they're too close to the center. So then, when you eliminate those and you eliminate all the ones that are inside the deployment zones, there's not a lot of options to choose. So their hands are forced a little bit.
I just bumped the shit out of this.
Whoopsie.
Here comes Vader. Yeah, the Darks didn't get super aggressive, so I don't think they can even threaten a move.
How long was your travel to get here?
A move
I just had to come from Colorado.
Because the unit leader,
short flight. Nothing compared to you.
The unit leader won't be able to swing around. Because now, under new rules, you have to see with the unit leader to make an attack. You can't just cohere the other guys around. The other Darks are pretty far back. I'm not loving this. I don't like split up Darks. How do you want to overwhelm with a double Dark list? So, I'd expect Reptilian Rampage
I think I bumped him because he was close. I bumped that whole rock.
Or not, I keep saying Reptilian Rampage. I'd expect line and wait here, and then hard to say from Blizzard because it doesn't look like he's set up in a spot. This would usually be the turn you'd want to play the, I don't even know what the real name of the card is, the Bombard card, the 2-pip.
Oh, Overwhelming Barrage.
Overwhelming Barrage is usually turn 1 or 2, depending when you play Darkness Descends. But you can't see much because of that big rock. Maybe it might be the sort of thing he saves for late in the game to try to finish off some units at the back of KP.
There's another thing too. The Dark Troopers are kind of resistant to Overwhelming Barrage because there's no crit generation there.
It's useless into Darks for sure, and that's why, for me, the whole reason that I played a double Dark list was I felt like it had the best chance into Blizzard Force of anything, and that was a big reason why, because the Blizzard Force. Yeah, that's a big part of their toolkit and getting that early attrition going, and Darks just shrug it off. They don't care. It's a waste of a shot if you choose to shoot the Dark Troopers.
It's testing to see whether Vader can sit there.
Oh, that's big, because Vader could move, and then he could get closer.
Move and climb, yeah.
Yeah, Bobo moved up pretty aggressively, sitting on top of that rock, so they're still figuring out command cards. So given that Vader's in engagement range, I could see Master of Evil maybe just for a dodge, but it's a slower card, but it's a dodge and order control. Or maybe Vader's might, because if he can get up there, that should be within height 1, range 1, to pull Boba down into melee with him.
You blew on him.
Sorry.
And he, again, still shouldn't really be taking... He'd take maybe 1 Dark Trooper shot in return if Boba withdraws. But if Boba withdraws in that position, Boba's getting lit up by the army. So do you want to take all the shots in Boba in exchange for a range 2 blast full Dark Trooper shot? I don't know if that's a great trade.
Yeah, I would not call that a good trade.
Yeah.
You're looking at, in that situation, if... Okay, so it is overwhelming.
Versus
and Simple Man.
Okay.
So we might be using Simple Man as a hedge to kind of get out.
Go to Bosk.
Okay.
And I'm going to play Seize the Initiative.
Yep.
So that, Seize the Initiative on Boba, so he gets the order. Sure.
Yep. That's why I love Seize on Boba. You know, sometimes people put Hunter, but Seize on Boba is great in a list like this because either you use it on the pin down turn to give him order control, because you can only give the orders to the 2 darks, or you use it on Simple Man so that you give the order to someone else.
Boba will snatch
and then, so you get the ability for giving it to someone else, which is aims, marksman, and extended range of your guns. But then you have Seize the Initiative, so you actually have order control. So you can go first, shoot something at range 3 with 5 dice and an aim, and then get out of there. So it's a really great card on Boba. I think a lot of the Bobas I've seen this weekend are similar to mine with Seize and Recon. It's all he needs. If you got points, sure.
Boba shooting Vader.
That'll be 4.
Into Vader.
I'll spend the aim on Marksman.
So you spent the aim for Marksman.
Okay.
I think
Going
Matt says you actually reroll.
Matt says you reroll. It's a bit better than 1 hit, but I get it. You're shooting Vader. You just want maybe something a little more guaranteed. Because you only average a bit over
Vader
1.
takes. He's got surges.
He's got surges, no dodge. Okay, 2.
2. Okay.
Okay. That's good. Any wounds makes Vader's life a bit tougher, and then, yeah, you got Boba out of there. I get why you shot Vader and not the HRUs, because Vader's the most important thing here.
Yeah, and Dark Troopers can deal with bikes. And
They can if Vader's out of the picture. It's hard dealing with everything at once. That's the strength of Blizzard, but if you don't have to do that, oh boy.
All right, ready? Here we go.
Core. This is the thing, so with...
Let's go for it right now.
Okay.
You want to get
improvised orders. So 2 HRUs, or I guess he's got snow troopers. So as far as Blizzard lists go, you know, a lot of Blizzard players were there are some kind of copies of the Blizzard meta list that we think of from LVO, from other tournaments, pre-Dark Troopers. But there's varying degrees to which different Blizzard players have teched for it. In this case, Dustin has just taken the kind of the standard one and added impact grenades to both snows. I don't know if that's enough, but it means that his snows are still also kind of pass activation, so he can just wait them out here.
See, I had a good tweak to the Blizzard Force list. It was Vader, well, Operative Vader with an ATST, 2 bikes, 2 HRUs, and then your standard snows with an officer.
Oh, sorry.
Okay.
That's
a big change.
Yeah, it was a big change. It was the only list that Andy was actually worried about playing at our get together. It's just a shame that I got a little bit blinkered by taking out his objective holders to try and get my bikes then to swoop in and my troops to swoop in. By that time, a little bit too much damage was done elsewhere on the darks. So I was like, my thought process there was really he's got nothing holding back, even though he's remnant. If I can take out those 2 units over there holding that objective, he's then got to try and take out too much of my stuff.
Yeah.
To bring that through, but this was the first time as well coming up against Darks, and I was not prepared for just how unrelenting they are.
Yeah.
But it was a toss-up between that list and the list that I brought. with the ATSD anyway, but it was the 4-bike ATSD list.
I'm going for a core token.
Lots of impact there for sure.
Yeah, and then I didn't play any Dark Troopers.
Yeah.
Nice. I got them all. I wanted to play Blizzard, and I got 2 out of 4 games with Dark Troopers in the mirror.
Well, the new call to beat Blizzard Force just seems to be to take 6 units of Black Sun and a Bossum Maul.
I guess.
That's what I've heard.
It's chunky.
And just
it's doing really well.
Yep, and just beat them with Bombing Run.
Well, and Blizzard doesn't have Pierce outside of Vader, so if you've got big chunky bodies backed up by a medic, it can be hard to punch through.
I just want to remind chat, in 5 minutes we're going to be giving away a set of alternate art Battle Force cards for all 4 Battle Forces. So please do type in #giveaway in the chat. And if you haven't become a patron, consider becoming a patron today. Patreon.com/YavinBase. It helps support what we're doing with the tournaments for all the streaming.
So for me there, I think for like what you were saying, Peter's got those snows.
You want to hold the tool and I'll move
holding that his home objective there with his officer. And I think he's just going to probably try, and cut around there instead of going for the center and just.
Yeah, I think because of the dip in the rock, he might have line of sight there, just barely. He's not going to be able to see Vader. He went maybe a little too in the middle on that rock there.
Yeah,
but I mean they get a shot, right? It's almost always better when you can move and at least shoot something rather than move and you have to take an aim.
One aim from the program loyalty.
They'll have another activation, I believe.
I'll use the aim.
Not bad.
Heavy cover takes away 2.
And they're rolling 4.
See, they seem reasonable when that happens.
Yeah.
Good
and
saves
snows seem great when that happens.
Yeah. That's another reason, pretty much any double dark variant you play is going to be good. There's a lot of different versions. IRGs are great at the defensive, but getting the extra guy in there, getting more offense consistently for all those attacks throughout the game, it's really nice. It's expensive, but it's really nice.
Let's go. Dodge standby. Over to you.
Okay, more core, I believe.
Cool.
So Peter, because he has double bounty, he needs 5 points in the upgrade slot, in the command upgrade slot, to take Underworld Connections to make that list legal.
Right.
Which means he doesn't have improvised orders.
No.
And as we discussed, his core are kind of useless. So you can really get messed up there, I would say.
This is just like the Battle of the Hoff when
especially because you've got to order you've got 2 order hunter bounty hunters. Maybe, especially once the darks start taking attrition and you want to go with the darks before maybe they lose a heavy.
Full.
Oh my goodness.
Wow.
Snow's punching speeder bikes for 4.
You love to see it. Snows and storms, much better punching. That's a model gone.
Just meleeing that speeder bike, clotheslining him off of there.
Oh, it was a 4 cohered one too. So this does mean that remained spear bike could take a shot at them if it so chose, but I think it's just not worth it. Just probably triple move here.
And a wound. They already had a wound.
They already have a wound.
Though double move is probably fine.
LJ.
Shoot double move.
Yeah.
I just got punched in melee. I sucked back into the snows, correct?
No melee weapon.
No, because the bike doesn't have a melee weapon.
The snows just punched the bike. They were not engaged clearly, but they're in a melee.
Yeah, you don't snap.
Yeah,
you stay there.
Because I've seen it where Luke's done that, where he's wiped one and he just kind of goes standing out the other.
Yeah, the example in the rulebook, in fact, is Luke killing a single speeder bike unit.
It would make me, I'll be honest, it's better for me if he doesn't, but I'm pretty sure that he does.
I'll check.
Because I get to teleport to the other side of the bike.
So we're looking for, we have a judge question on the field.
But I can't shoot my main gun in melee. I can't shoot my main gun in melee, and I believe I have to snap into you.
Eljo's going to make his paycheck here.
So this is about melee and whether or not a speeder bike will suck into the snow troopers.
Again, I'll take the ruling, but I think
yeah, and the reason for that is because the bike does not have a melee weapon. So it will not snap back in.
You want a lolly? Sure.
Yeah. Sorry for saying that. That's the wrong word to say on stream, right?
So we did get the announcement. 90 minutes left in the round. This game is still kind of early on round 2, so clock might be a bit of a concern here.
So while we're in this pause, this is your last chance to get on the giveaway.
I believe that Dustin is correct that I don't snap.
So hashtag
because
giveaway.
No, I think they do snap, but I think it's better for me if they don't.
Would you play? You would get to pick the position, yeah?
Hashtag giveaway, everybody. Here we go. 5,
back into you?
You don't go here because it's not an
3,
engagement.
So you could teleport
2,
to the other side of the
1.
Yes, I could.
Yeah.
Yes, I could.
Lou Canada, are you in the chat? You've been drawn for the giveaway.
Just while we're waiting, shout out to Australia. 2832 postcode.
I won't let that go unanswered. Lou Canada, obviously shout out to Canada.
Shout out to Canada,
I gotta compete.
Absolutely. Lou Canada, congrats. You win a set of alternate art battle cards. Congratulations, Lou Canada.
I need like one around.
We got more stuff to give away on stream later on, guys. Stay tuned. We're going to give away some more tarot cards.
They're spicy. I like them.
They're very, very good.
Have you plugged your Patreon in a while, David?
I plugged it a little bit ago, but I'll plug it again.
Yeah.
Guys, if you like what you're seeing with the stream and you want to see more streams from more major leisure tournaments throughout the year, please consider becoming a patron at patreon.com/YavinBase. Every little bit helps the stream. I'll just be completely honest with you guys. I spend a lot of money on this stuff every year, and for me to be able to continue doing this, I need your support. So patreon.com/YavinBase. Every little bit helps. If you can't donate at the $5 level, if you have Amazon Prime, you can become a Prime sub.
And it costs you nothing.
It costs
you get a free sub.
You get a free sub just to use to any Twitch streamer. The only drawback is it does not auto-renew, so you have to keep renewing every month.
Which I have fallen foul from. I have fallen foul from that.
It's a little bit, Amazon makes it a little bit tough, but you can give a Prime sub. It's like, it gives me about a couple bucks. So, and like I said, every little bit helps the stream. So you can subscribe with Prime.
Actually, starting with the attacker, so you get to snap into me because you attacked.
Cool.
So you get to.
So there we are. We have had the ruling there.
To where you would like.
I think what he was saying there is he does actually get to snap back in.
This guy's just come in, judo chopped the rider off.
Yeah.
And then he's going there.
And then they snap into the bike.
Yep.
Perhaps the very specifics of the wordings have changed in the latest CRB update.
Yeah.
There used to be an example in the old rulebook that was if Luke chops a single speeder bike model, he does not go into the other speeder bike.
Yeah, that's the old.
Obviously, something subtle but important has changed. So there we go.
I remember that example too. I remember.
As long as we got an edge
when I was first reading the rulebook, learning how to play the game.
They were some of the only units in the game at the start.
Something changed.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Simon.
Oh, interesting.
We're gonna have to bid you farewell.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
so
kicking out Simon.
I appreciate. I appreciate you being here. We're gonna get Wee Bear on from Indy Garrison.
Yeah, no worries.
But I appreciate you coming in.
No, thank you very much for having me.
Yeah,
it's been good.
Absolute pleasure.
I'm not going to lie, I'm rooting for Dustin to win, so I'm going to be hovering around to make sure that he actually does.
Oh, there you go.
There you go.
I'll start booing from the other side otherwise.
Spirit bomb him. There you go.
No worries. Thank you very much.
Thanks.
It was good to see you.
Yeah, we appreciate you so much,
Thank you very much, Zane.
Thanks for representing UK.
Oh, right, that wasn't me.
Yeah,
Get Lila on later on. She'll represent the UK.
Okay, there you go.
Have a good one, guys.
All right, thank you.
Aim up a Dark Trooper unit.
So Peter grabbing another Dark Trooper.
Ryan.
Sit around here. That would have been a difficult move. Had more than enough. Another bike.
I heard Dark Trooper, but he must not have. He must have been something else.
We'll touch recover here.
Yep.
We're going to welcome Brian Weebear to the stream.
Hey everybody, how's it going?
Brian Bear, Weebear.
So we just had an interesting ruling there where they snapped into that.
We were talking about that. Yeah, we were surprised a bit. Something must have changed that went a little unnoticed.
I was surprised by by that ruling as well.
It helps. It helps the snows for sure.
4 down to 3.
Okay. Well, they're about to take a.
Ooh. 3 models. Ooh.
3 models go.
Gotcha.
So those guys cease to be a threat even with their super punchy gloves.
So what are your guys' analysis so far? I think Xiconia is in a little bit of a hard spot.
I'm not feeling great. I think Double Darks has great play into Blizzard, but given how the game has progressed so far and with the Dark Troopers kind of being split up and far back, I'm not loving that.
I think the KP is going to be the difficult part for the Darks. They need to get in and start killing things.
Yeah, I think the saving grace right now is that the two of the KPs are very close and they can kind of influence both, shoot both, go either direction when at the end of the game when it comes to that. But yeah, like we see a Dark in the back, just not really. Or maybe those aren't, maybe I'm getting it mixed up. It's hard to tell with the top down because all the models are painted black.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So those might just be some naked naked core back there, in which case that's fine if you're naked core
Vegas,
back there.
I had that where I'd sliced down a bike, and because I'd moved into melee, I knew somebody had to move, but I didn't know if I moved to them or they moved to me.
Specifically had the example of Luke and
Right.
And that's what I was trying to reconcile was like, wait, that example's not in there.
So the judge continuing to discuss the specifics of the ruling with the players.
Old news. Get a move on. We only have 80 minutes left.
That's true.
That's me.
Yes. So we have all the Darks.
Yeah, they are lined up next to each other, so that's good. That's good. As we say, Vader's engagement is kind of tricky right now.
It's dangerous with those Darks on the other side of that with jump. That's height 2, is that correct?
It's height 2, yeah.
But there is a spot where Vader can climb up to height 1 on the edge and then climb up again.
Okay.
I think, now I believe Bosk has Seize and he does not have Hunter. So the threat of Bosk going last, shooting, and then Reptilian rampaging with 2 aim tokens, like an aim for each attack from Hunter from attacking Vader, that threat's not there. It would be unaimed shots.
Yeah.
But it's still good and it's a lot of suppression. If you put 4 suppression down on Vader and he only gets 1 action, you're feeling pretty good about yourself.
You are. My biggest fear for Xiconia right now would be the bikes that are just going to fly around until turn 6, and they can displace all those trooper units on Ziconia's side, which is going to cause problems with that small of a KP in the middle objective.
For sure.
It smells good.
That's a good point. Yeah, that's a very overlappable KP.
You're loaded up. No aim on the shot.
Bump your Vader again.
I don't know if they defined it as scatter or as obstacle, because that's another consideration.
Oh.
If it's obstacle and they can't overhang that piece of terrain, then either you are touching the side or you are getting your full miniatures on there. So it doesn't take much from like maybe 1 unit of bikes even could make it such that there's no way for him to get a full unit on and he's touching the side. Like it's going to be tough to get units on there, given those overhang rules, if that's how they defined it.
Right.
And I think for me, that's the one I miss the most these days when defining terrain, to point at something and say, is that scatter, is that obstacle? Because before, that was never a discussion. Like, it is what it is. It's a barricade height object that's maybe a bit bigger, but now it's a gray zone. And you just have to, we have to get in those habits as far as what is it, because it really matters for the overhang.
Yeah, the pregame discussion has really ramped up over the last couple months. And it's something that I've I've needed to work on personally with our with our gaming group in Indy. It's just
and
been
our Cohera model.
That takes practice. It takes a lot of
sure.
practice.
Especially like you're at a big event, you want to get going with the game. Just like you miss triggers because of that, sometimes you miss important discussion points in the pregame.
Yeah, exactly.
Looks like Dart Troopers are on the move here to the south, and they are going to maybe get into the mix here. Yep, they're going to shoot the assault cannon, and not a fantastic roll out there.
Okay, that helped a lot.
Better.
Yep.
They shooting at those
much better.
snows, you think? Or is that
5 incoming?
Is that into Vader?
I think that's into HRUs.
I would.
2.
I mean, you definitely would shoot Vader if you could.
No, it's into HRUs.
No, it was the
is that
snow
a
group
snow?
right here. Yeah.
Okay, that's the snow. Never mind.
Oh
yeah, I see the HRU.
Yeah, kind of on the hard to see on the the screen.
They're underneath the archway.
Yeah, so they're on the left side of the screen. So now there is one snow trooper there, kind of hidden.
I was impressed that he had line of sight on both those models. That's good for Xiconia on getting that shot.
Well, I'm trying to count if he has any Dark Trooper activations left, because if he does, Vader's in a very precarious position because so each of those board segments that we're looking at is a range 3. No, it's not quite range 3 by range 3 because there's 3 across the back. So yeah, they might not be able to close to range 2. I'd be very scared if they could close to range 2. I don't think they can unless you get cheeky.
Not this round.
But even a range 3 shot, unaimed, might be okay, but you don't love it. You don't love it if you're Vader.
Now, what are Vader's force powers? I didn't check the list.
So Vader's got choke, push, tenacity into the fray.
Okay.
Now, speaking of Dark Troopers, let's talk a little bit about what they can bring to the table. Their strengths are they are beefy as heck.
Yeah, this was one of the last ones. I was running out of eloquent words to write on this slide, so I just wrote beefy as heck.
Yeah, they attack us with quantity and quality, so they have a range 3 pool that's really decent at a 8 to 9 black, crit 2 or crit 1. And then at the close range, they have the SM9 frag launcher that gives them just a massive attack pool with blast even. They have double activations for weird shenanigans or overwhelming firepower. So by weird shenanigans, I think you mean the like evaporators.
They can double tap objectives. They can move faster than you think on the first try. They can, if you engage them in melee, they can withdraw and then shoot you with the second action, or shoot someone else, or just punch you really hard. That's kind of more overwhelming firepower.
And the last bullet point there says surprising straight line speed.
Yeah, it's 2 speed 1 moves are 4 inches each, so that's 8 inches. That's like a speed 3 move.
It's a speed
once
3,
a round.
Boss gonna pop up.
They never get cover though.
Okay.
They never get covered. So if you've got like a bunch of 6 pikes with disruptors, usually those can struggle to break cover at range 4, but they're plinking with impact 1 into Dark Troopers every time for some easy attrition.
And I like
they're going to shoot Vader. Here we go.
Oh, here we go. Yeah, that's big. Forget Dark Troopers.
Well, Dark Troopers are shooting. Or no, they're shooting Vader. This is an HRU.
This is an HRU shot.
No, this is Bosk shooting Vader.
Oh, okay. That's a lot of crits.
Sharpshooter 1 on this turn? No.
Yeah, he doesn't have Sharpshooter.
So 2 crits?
It's kind of funny they get Sharpshooter on the turn when he's going to roll 5 crits anyways.
2 crits into Vader.
That's pretty good. But it's 2 suppression more importantly, I would say.
Spend a surge.
Because now Vader's at 3
suppression.
He should roll 1 off, but it's very possible that he doesn't. And that's a very tricky engagement for him.
Going back to Dark Troopers, one thing I like that you put on the strengths and weaknesses is one thing that I tried to take advantage of a lot is that the Dark Troopers are very good going straight in one direction, but my list was designed to spread you out.
For sure.
With my land speeder and R2. And that was the only way that I found to be successful against the Dark Troopers.
Yeah.
Because especially rebels with their white saves, they can't hold up to the firepower and they can't kill them fast enough to deal with it.
Yeah.
And so spreading them out is super important. So I think those strengths and weaknesses are perfect.
Yeah, if you can pull Dark Troopers apart, if you can make them split up the Dark Troopers, you're doing well because they can't go to one place, then go back to a different place. That's why things like Boba and Bosk are great because they have such great range, and for Boba he has great mobility. They can kind of be in all those other places.
Yes.
So we saw here, as far as builds, pretty much everyone's running with the assault cannon and with the range 2 frag launcher and the programmed loyalty because free tokens are great. Not a lot of the Myrtleizer. They're already great in melee. Proactively, you're not getting in melee. The points, the extra points to pay for the frag launcher is nothing. It's 4 points. Do it. It makes them really scary. I like the extra guy. That's really the only differentiator you really see. Sometimes people drop the programmed loyalty if they really need points, or if you're running Remnant and they're going to get independent aim. But I think that's really where you can put your tweak on it. Extra guy or beef up other things.
Right. And Xiconia went with the beef up other things to go with double bounty.
He got a second bounty hunter.
Yes, yeah.
Ooh.
So, Bosk.
And so far, like, his darks aren't taking any damage.
Yeah, all of Dustin's damage dealers other than Vader are on the other side of the board, and so the darks can kind of go up uncontested right now.
Which is really good for them because much like Jedi, if darks survive to the end game, you're doing great. You're feeling awesome because they are, as you lose more and more stuff, it just gets even harder to punch through them.
So this is overwhelming barrage.
I love it.
Doing 2 wounds to Bosk, and then the 1 crit getting blocked by the Dark Troopers. So barrage now out of
I
the way.
don't love it.
Barrage into Dark Troopers is rough, man.
It's very rough.
It is the Darks.
Yeah, I feel like Master of Evil would have been preferable here. Because, like, it's not really going to do anything for you later. Maybe it'll put 3 suppression on Boba, and that's nice, but it's not doing anything into darks. Vader might be feeling better with a dodge right now.
And where's that silhouette going?
Does Master of Evil give him a dodge?
Gives him a dodge.
That's right, yeah.
Gonna hold that.
It's the only card he has that unconditionally gives him a dodge token before anything goes.
Right, because the Implacable you have to activate.
You have to activate Fear and Dead Men. They have to be at range 2 when they activate. So both of those are like, I don't quite know. And a lot of the time it's just like, you want the dodge right away. Especially now, because like Vader shouldn't be hanging out at range in this position. Like he's kind of committed. He can't now play coy with Vader.
Right.
I think if Dustin does that, he's in a bad spot. So now that I'm seeing a bit better where the Dark Troopers actually are, I'm actually feeling a lot better for Peter.
Going down.
Yeah, especially for how far away the bikes are. I mean, the bikes still have the potential to come and hit the back line because the darks aren't going to be able to change directions like we were just talking about.
Yeah.
And so if Dustin wants to do that, that could cause problems if he's able to take enough models off of that point. But you want enough bikes to displace off that middle objective for sure.
Yeah, but if you have 2 full units at the end of the game of Dark Troopers, those bikes are getting one shot anyways, right?
They are.
And that's the thing.
They are. Yeah, it's gonna be up to activation control. Right now, Dustin has that with the deleting those snows that were off in that corner. And if he can use that to his advantage and just keep keep from losing so many models to those darks that are going to be coming right over that rock, it's going to be he can do well as long as he keeps that activation control.
Yeah, and one thing to think about as well. So it looks like we're getting a shot on Vader here. They're just trying to figure out line of sight. He might have to forward cohere to get line of sight. Like I feel like he should be able to get the full unit. Given that the unit leader can see, I would forward cohere to get extra dice if I had to in this situation.
I would agree, and there's not much danger for those Dark Troopers at this point either.
No, because like Vader can scatter you forwards anyways. Vader's the game in a sense.
Yeah.
But I lost my thought that I was going with something before that. But oh yeah, so because of Boba, this is this is Operative Vader, no burst of speed. Whipcord, sure, Vader could stand by, but if he's engaged with darks, then they just say, okay, I'll withdraw.
Right.
You can move back into me, then I'll withdraw again. And I have another Dark Trooper standing right there. Blast, recover, blast. Maybe he's still alive. Bosk says, hey, what if I pick up a bounty? Right? It's really tough for Vader to engage because of the double activation, again, shenanigans from Dark Troopers, how good they are just punching if they have to punch, and Whipcord. It combos really well. Boba Darks.
Exactly. The Boba Whipcord, like a lot of Force users aren't super concerned with that Whipcord if they're taking burst.
Yeah.
But Operative Vader rarely takes burst, and he hates the whipcord.
Even things without burst, usually, if you can, as long as you don't engage Boba, you're feeling okay because you take a standby if you have to, or you force push them back into you after they withdraw if you're engaged with anything but Boba. But Dark Troopers turn that on its head because of the double activation.
Yes.
And then, if you aren't engaged with Boba and you aren't engaged with Dark Troopers, Vader, is he doing anything actually that's super useful, right? If he's never engaging those guys.
Yeah,
maybe he's choking a bit, but not really.
Yeah, he might be choking heavies, but then again, Darks have 2 wounds on each of their.
And choking the heavies are good if you're actually shooting into the darks, which isn't happening right now. And so going in and choking the heavies not going to do much right now because there's not any incoming fire into those darks.
And if you choke a couple heavies and they're down to whatever 3-4 guys, sure, whatever. At that point, I'll just walk into you and punch you with 3 red and 3 white, and then I'll do it again.
Yes, and I'm not going to die.
Yeah, and I'm not going to die.
So what's happening on the field right now, folks, is that LJ is making a line of sight call for these Dark Troopers to a Snow Trooper model, trying to see how many models can actually see.
Again, LJ.
That rock must be pretty decent if he's not shooting.
What a horrific roll.
Nice roll.
Big roll there.
Unaimed, I think, just
so that's going to be 5 through cover.
5 through cover.
So this will even up the activation advantage almost certainly. And the point's killed.
And they get him.
Would have preferred on Vader.
Yeah, for
yeah,
sure.
no doubt.
If he does that on Vader,
that could
fantastic.
That's virtually game.
Yeah, Vader's out of surges, 2 wounds.
Yeah, couldn't get that Dark Trooper shot on Vader.
Yeah.
I'm out.
You know, it's interesting because I came into this cast looking at this and being like, this is going to be tough for Xiconia, but now with Bosk's position and where those Dark Troopers are, like Bosk is gold right now. No one's threatening him. No one's shooting at him.
Now they aren't. No.
Bosk does not want to get shot at over and over and over again, and there's no one threatening him. And the bikes which usually can melt Bosk really fast aren't there. And so it's actually leaning in Xichonia's direction.
I would favor Xiconia right now for sure.
I feel like the bikes, they killed that Snow Trooper, but no, they got to get in there. They gotta start. I feel like if the pressure is real, especially with Vader kind of hanging out there.
Yeah, he needs this next turn. He needs to.
Can you help me?
He needs to get in there with Vader.
Sorry?
I think, as we've established, he can't.
Can you see him?
Chicken out with Vader right now because honestly, there's not a good spot for him to hide.
I'm happy.
And he needs to hit with everything at once. So all those HRUs need to be coming up and pounding the darks. The bikes need to be hitting the darks, but it might not be enough because even with Implacable, chop them a few times. Vader's not great with the chop because he doesn't surge crit, right? Something like Anakin, Luke, Dooku, they all surge crit on their lightsabers. So if you're rolling 5-6 dice, you should get maybe a crit or 2. If you're not, he's kind of just got impact 3, pierce 3, which is maybe if you roll 1 random crit, you're taking off 2 models, which isn't bad, especially if you choke a guy first and you take a heavy out, but it's not enough on its own at all. And it's not worth doing 2 chops with Vader to get off maybe most of a Dark Trooper squad.
Right.
If that's your full activation, there's another Dark hanging around who's just going to murder Vader.
Exactly.
The advantage.
We're just about into turn 3.
Yeah, so here comes the Vader.
I just marked it. I marked turn 3 a little bit early, guys.
Oh, there we
go.
It looks like he's going to try to use that rock as an advantage for him. Get out of sight of those.
So here's what we're
darks.
talking about straight line speed. Now that the darks have committed to that side of the rock, and I was kind of saying this earlier, there might be a little bit of
dance
around it.
Yep.
Because now, at least with a single move, they can't see him because of the changes to the line of sight rules.
Like
okay, so he's climbing up, so he might be going to go try to hide in Bosk. The other thing to consider, it's such a big rock up top there. I wonder what the angles are like for actually seeing a silhouette. I think, if Vader was standing in the middle of the rock, I don't think the Dark Troopers would have any trouble seeing him, especially because there's a chunk out of it.
Oh, I don't know if they could actually.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. I'm not sure. It might be a weird case where he can kind of LOS block, and if they want to see him, they actually have to back away from the rock and away from Dustin's army.
I feel we are. But no, it doesn't matter for anyone. Yeah.
And if Darks take a whole turn backing up, that's really not good for them either. So maybe he can kind of hide in there. But yeah, he's found a good hiding spot now.
Yeah.
And we do have this rock here near Xieconia's backside that a couple of bikes can hide behind there, and be ready for in-game kind of shenanigans.
Yeah. Yeah, because the Darks, it's tricky. Because the Darks have committed to that bottom of the board, then they might not be able to threaten the center KP all that well. If the bikes can come around, kill all the chaff, and take that back KP,
exactly,
then that's really bad. Usually into double Darks, I don't advocate killing everything but the Darks, because that is a path to losing most of the time.
Most of the time.
In this one, it could work.
Yeah, and that's what I'd be considering if I was Dustin as an option. Not necessarily, I wouldn't commit to it at all right now.
Yeah,
it's something that I would be considering.
For sure.
Chris Amir's asking, who are the world's judges? It is John Griffin is the EO. LJ Pena is the head consular. We also have Nima, Ashji, and Brad
Does
Nerfly.
Bosk have range 4 to the blue bike?
Nimshak as your judges.
Yeah.
Bosk,
a good crew for sure.
Is this the Blizzard Force tutorial stream? Yes, it is. we've had 4 games of Blizzard in the last 6.
What are you doing, David? I thought you were going to try to keep them off.
I tried.
You can't anymore.
You can't anymore. I tried my best.
It's all Blizzard versus Darks or Blizzard versus Blizzard. That's the state of the game currently.
It's coming. It's coming down to that.
These next 3 rounds. 3 rounds are going to be rough.
It could be brutal. Yeah.
So we're looking at the card play here. We do have a Whipcord out of Boba, and we've got Implacable
out of Vader, so a tie for
The
priority.
roll-off, I'll roll the dice. I'm a shield. I win.
Whipcord wins. That's a big deal.
I don't think you use Whipcord offensively here. Or more, I think you still wait on Boba, because Whipcording Vader where he currently is isn't doing a whole heck of a lot for you.
I agree. I think you mostly use it as a
as a deterrent.
Yeah, what's it called? Area denial kind of.
Because Bosk, it looks like he's popping C's on Bosk. Use it as a way to get Bosk out of there.
And he can even shoot and then still get out because of the skill change.
Yeah, he probably. Oh.
Or he just climbs down, doesn't he? Oh, he's going to go with the Darks instead.
Well, he might just be trying to see if he can see Vader and probably saying, no, I can't, but me.
See, he's checking. He's checking with a range 3 ruler to see what's going to happen the following round.
Yeah,
or the following activation for those Darks.
Yeah. So as we said earlier, a range 2 range 1 moves or speed 1 moves is equivalent almost exactly to a single speed 3. So it really helps for pre-measuring there. That's a neat trick.
I can.
Even if you can't get the shot on Vader, I get why. This would be useful in the sense of it puts the pressure on Vader if you have a Dark Trooper that is a move shoot away from lighting you up.
Yeah, or even a move aim and then a move shoot. And
exactly.
That second shot.
So first move shoot, and then, first move aim, and then they're sitting there threatening, and then Vader's like, well, if I go, I get whipcorded, things could get really bad. If I don't go, I eat a huge dark shot with no dodges. That's really bad. It's putting them in bad situations. It's similar to
attempt to regenerate.
Something like this with pin down with Dark Troopers. I love to use it as a, hey, you have to go first with that Force user, which you don't really want to do. But if you don't, I'm going to send your order token back and you're going to die this round, most likely.
Yeah.
So Force users don't like being told when to activate.
No, they don't. They like flipping the score on your opponent. They don't want to be told what to do.
Yeah.
So the first move from Peter there, going with Bosk,
I think that makes
bike
sense.
for 1 wound and then moving down with scale, just moving away from Vader.
Takes Vader's targets out of there. Vader's just kind of standing there, flapping in the breeze, thinking,
loyalty.
I don't know.
You happy if I shove a name down?
I don't think Dustin's, as long as Vader is not in sight of a double dark move and shot,
then it's
then
fine.
I think Dustin is actually comfortable with where Vader's at.
Yeah, I
the
think
danger I think here would be is getting whipcorded after Vader activates. I think that is concerning at that point.
But because whipcord won, and because Vader activates and goes back in the bag,
he's going to be
Vader
fine.
can go late.
Yes.
If Vader isn't threatened and can go last, he won't. He'll be going last.
Yes, so he's going to be. Actually, I think if I was Dustin, I'd be fine getting whipcorded right now.
Yep,
because then my second action, I can get to a better spot.
Exactly. And then I don't think, especially because whipcord requires line of sight, so Boba would have to jump up on top, see Vader at range 1, and whipcord him. In which case Vader says, "Okay, I dodge, and maybe I stand by. I don't know."
Right.
And then he goes again, and then he moves up. Maybe he has to force push Boba into him, and then gets to chop up Boba. And Vader would be loving being engaged with Boba after Boba's played whipcord. Because if he's engaged, he's hidden from the Dark Troopers.
Oh, wow. We have 1 hour remaining.
Yep. That's the 60 minutes.
And it is just the start of turn 3.
Yeah, I'm very worried about
I'm worried about
here.
pace, for sure.
And that is to the disadvantage of Peter, I think, because he doesn't have the speedy units. If things get hairy and people just need to jump on key positions, unless Peter is sitting there with a bounty from collected on Vader, bikes just go where they need to. Dark Troopers aren't going to have the speed to get where they need to go fast enough, potentially.
Yeah, he's going to need that round 5 and round 6 to start taking models off the table.
Yep. Oh, Peter's...
Yeah, no, it's
Peter's looking at...
It's looking pretty tight.
Ways to go and whipcord Vader right now. It might be for the better that he feels like it's hard to get the angle, because I don't think that would be the play.
I can pass.
Now, an interesting thing that he could do is Boba can get into range of Vader, whipcord him, and possibly stand by for that second Vader act. It's possible.
I would be afraid. I don't know what range the HRUs are at.
Yeah, because I won the pit battle.
I would think the HRUs could move, hit him at range 4. If Dustin's HRUs are not in a move shoot range at range 4 to the top of that rock, he's really messed up.
I believe they certainly are.
Yeah.
We've got some right here. I don't know where the other
standby.
HRU squad is. Are they underneath the arch?
No, I think they're behind the pillar, or unless those are snow troopers.
Those are snow troopers, it looks like.
Yeah, they look like snow. Oh, yes. So he's got 2 HRU squads. One is underneath this rock arch on the bottom left side of the screen. And then there's the ones that you can see clearly underneath that rock.
They could definitely knock a standby off there.
Yes, I would agree.
So while we're in a slight pause, I just want to say we're going to give away a set of Rebel Tarot cards now to the stream. We have some awesome Rebel Tarot cards. Zane is going to show you on stream right now. So you have a T-47 airspeeder, a Rebel Troopers, and a Cassian Andor for your Rebel Army.
Those are all good units.
They're all very good units.
I'd run all of those right now.
Same here.
Problems with Rebels aside that we were talking about earlier.
I'm
especially the naked Rebels.
Yeah. I'm especially in love with the Cassian Andor art because it has the vault from Scarif on the back. I think that's just a really nice touch. And that's the full art T-47.
That's like the art from the box, yeah.
Yeah, it's the box art. So we're going to give those away in about 15 minutes here.
And just so everyone's aware, there's only one Rebel list that remains undefeated, and that is a double T-47 list.
Yeah. Yeah, we're talking a bit before he got on about the struggles Rebels had.
I tried my best, guys. I
know you did. Yeah. I think you had the right idea as far as FD cannons.
The FD cannons were solid. Yeah.
Boba's good with the rocket.
Yep.
But is Rebel Boba. He's not Empire Boba, that's for sure.
Yeah, it's true. But getting into the places that he needs to get with that speeder was fantastic.
The speeder helps him a lot.
Because I ran that list a lot with Op Luke, and he was actually deleting more units off the board than Op Luke was consistently. And so that's when I traded to Boba.
The keyword changes on Transport X really worries me about that stuff, because Boba, Rebel Boba, and Rebel IG-11 were both units that I felt like kind of needed the land speeder to really get to that level of efficiency you're looking for.
Yeah.
But especially with all the impact that's in the game, the chances of they leave it almost dead and then kill it first act, and you're left with a face down order token.
I'll go to the bag.
Ooh, that's rough.
It is rough, and that actually only happened once in like the last 20 games that I've played. Because R2 with the double suppression in the other land speeder keeps things pretty healthy. And then when things start to get hairy, I zoom off.
Yep. Zoom.
Because of Simple Man, you can order one of the speeders that's in danger and get him out of there.
HRU is shooting at Dark Troopers and doing 1 wound.
Okay, well, I think that might be the first Dark Trooper wound we've seen today.
Yeah, we got
It's not assigned to anyone, though. I've seen this a bit this weekend, people being very loose with how they're assigning wounds to units. It is important
which mini does.
Which mini has it, right?
Right, and it's like, well, clearly I would have assigned it here, and it's like, well,
would you?
Yeah. Well, it's not totally clear. You have more information now than you did 10 minutes
ago.
Exactly. Yeah, so.
And it's easier to just get it done, so that way there's no feels bad later.
Exactly. Just put it somewhere.
Yeah.
And if you have a wound, let's say on a Dark Trooper, and they take 2 more, make sure you remove the guy with the wound and transfer the wound to a different guy.
Model.
Don't just take off the other model, because again, it does matter. Because maybe that other guy doesn't have line of sight to make an attack, and now you have to move if you want to contribute dice. So there are reasons why, be precise, make sure everything's assigned clearly.
And we did see Peter Xiconia move the Dark Trooper squad and take that aim that we're anticipating. So they're going to be anticipating another move and then a shot into Vader.
That's what I think. They might. I don't know if they have range to.
They're yet to go, the blue. They still do.
So here comes the split of those Dark Troopers we're talking about.
There.
I don't think they're going to be able to see. Are they going to just move and stand by? They're going backwards as well, right? At this point, Vader doesn't actually. He's in a pretty safe hiding spot. If those Darks move back, and
towards me.
Dustin can just isolate the Darks in the front so that they don't threaten Vader. Yeah, so he's going for that standby play.
Move standby.
Vader can just hang out where he's at.
Sorry, would you be able to put
the Darks
that one more time?
are 2 out of position, especially if we only have 1 or 2 rounds left. I don't love that, but
it does protect against that backline play that we were talking about.
It's helping for that. Yeah, it's helping. Yeah, what I found playing Darks though is they're not cagey, like move, like careful move position, all of that. Like being in small spots, you have to kind of go W key to an extent and just overrun people. But I mean, Blizzard is similar in that sense in a lot of ways, but Blizzard can be played pretty cagey, as we're seeing here, with maintaining those bikes. You don't want to go charging in and die for sure.
I was talking with Minor Tom earlier this morning on the Discords, and he was talking about how Blizzard Force, like a mediocre player playing Blizzard Force, is still kind of mediocre. The level of play that Blizzard Force can increase can be really high for a high-level player, whereas Darks can be a little bit more the inverse. Whereas, because you're kind of doing similar things.
I disagree and agree to a sense.
Okay.
I think it is generally true in that it takes a bit more baseline knowledge to play Blizzard.
Yes.
I don't want to sound mean, but I've played a lot of, so-so, like fine players playing Blizzard, where it was a tough game for me, right? Where, because like if you know, as long as you're not like, press W with bikes and press W with Vader, like if you have an idea of how to play a Force user and you have a general idea of how to play bikes, a fine player can do a lot with Blizzard Force.
That's true.
I do think that fine player can do a lot with double Dark Troopers, but I think it's probably overstated. I think, a great player can really take Darks to that S tier.
Oh, yes.
That's the thing. There's still a lot, especially Boba, or you see like Palpatine, like when you don't have those characters, the way they interact with and support the Darks with things like How do you do simple man? How do you, use rule with respect to get your order control? Like, there's a lot of little things. It's harder to really take it. And I think the problem with Dark Troopers is if you're not utilizing all those fine advantages, you're probably not going to pull through on all the games where people are teching against you.
I agree.
You can't tech against Blizzard. People can tech against Darks, and you need that extra expertise to take it from, oh, well, shoot, they have all the impact, I'm just going to lose, to I can still pull out this win.
Yeah, and I definitely have found in list building and attempting to prepare for Dark Troopers, it is easier to prepare for Dark Troopers than it is for Blizzard, and it's nigh impossible to prepare for both of those things.
Yes, for sure.
It is so hard.
If you're not running,
one or the other, yes.
Yeah,
it is
I'll
tough.
To that move,
Bees, I got to play Bees yesterday, and boy, he just round 2 yesterday just took me to town with his double dark PAL Pyro.
Yeah, we were talking a lot about that one. That's as I was saying, take 2 Dark Troopers.
Make your move and then have them call.
Add something to flavor. Great, because we've seen double darks with Boba. We've seen double darks with double bounty. Double darks with Palp. Double darks with double IRG, and just no named character. Just lean even harder into the darks.
Right.
They're all pretty great. They're all pretty great. Okay, we're looking more at Vader here.
Maybe. They don't know if they want to go on stream.
Yeah, don't see anything outside.
Yeah, okay.
I'm not seeing any of the white.
All right.
Okay.
Stand by.
So we had another brief ruling there.
We got like 60 seconds or whatever.
Looks like it was a line of sight check.
Okay.
And they're done, right?
Correct. Double activated. Yep.
It looks like they may have ruled that those darks could not see Vader. I did not see the dice roll.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys, I'm back.
It looks like Peter's trying to figure out places for Boba to go right now.
One thing, though, with Peter committing those darks up there without having too much danger of fire coming back at him, now he's pressuring Dustin's key position with those darks.
He is. There is that. Bikes can be pretty fast. What I found with a single unit of darks, especially 5-man darks, can melt pretty fast.
Yes.
Right?
If left alone, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Because in this split-up situation, and that's the secret sauce of why double darks is so good. Is you spend all your time focusing down one dark while the other dark is destroying everything you hold dear.
And here comes Vader after.
Yep.
And he's not concerned because those darks have double activated.
Yeah. So now he's just going to move in. What? Moved in and.
There's no point moving back.
Did he say dodge? I assume not. He's got to be looking to move again.
Correct?
No, he did. He moved down and dodged.
Yeah.
He must have dodged. He dodged, I guess, and then moved down.
But I do have a gun with blast.
Oh no.
Yes.
Because if he moved down and dodged, because they have a standby up.
Oh, he's looking. He's moving into a standby. So
he's moving into a standby.
He got the dodge from Implacable when he activated.
Okay, I see. That makes much more sense. Yes.
2.
So move down.
So yes,
dodge.
I think this is what Vader has to do.
Tapping the. Yep.
He has to. Generally, you have to eat a standby.
Yep.
Taps the frag launcher.
Yep.
Okay.
That's not too bad.
Not too
That's
bad.
not too bad. That's a lot of surges. With darks, you can see a lot of.
That was a surge, so I knocked into a crit. Okay.
The dice, they're knocking a surge to a crit for critical 1, really helping out.
Right.
6, dodge, 1, roll on 5.
Rolling 5.
5 into Vader. He'll dodge it down to 4, or did he dodge down to 5?
He dodged down to 5.
Dodge down to 5, so this could be probably 2 more wounds.
Oh, it is 3 wounds.
3, you take 1.
That's really bad. Because, yeah, I've play tested a lot of darks into Seth, so degrees, Yoda Chewie or whatever, Yoda bark lists.
Yes.
And the thing we found is, usually you just have to take 1 standby shot.
Yes.
Yeah.
In order to get your force usage.
And just hope. And just, it takes a little bit of hope that that's not going to happen and you don't take 3 wounds off of it.
I'm a rebel player. I've built on
Exactly.
hope.
I think people are way too passe about, if someone's taking standbys with their 200-point unit, I'm already winning, right? Like, I hear that thrown around a lot. And I think that's when we talk about the things that take it take Dark Trooper play from A tier to S tier, that's the thing.
Yes.
Those players are not afraid to take standbys in the right situation. They're not saying, oh, but it's a 200-point unit. I can't take a standby with that. Like,
No.
that's a waste of an action. It's like, no, they know when to take them and
No,
how
really,
to
it's
influence the game.
it's the opposite.
Yeah.
Right.
You just have to know when to use it.
Yes.
Here comes Vader.
So I see a
4.
natty crit and then
Spending
impact.
Looks like 3 are coming in.
I think there's
Oh,
might be
he's
2
gonna spend a
surges in there,
surge,
so you'd
yeah.
have to spend one to get his full impact value.
3 at the moment.
Yeah.
You just spent it. Oh, you spent.
Spend
Yeah.
one. I'll spend 1 surge. Make
Vader's
it
going to go
full.
again. I don't think these darks
So he kills 2
die?
models.
these darks aren't going to live
I
the
will
round.
kill the rocket launcher.
But I don't think Vader's going to live, and he's going to get bountied. But if these darks don't
Use
survive
that
the
to me?
round and we clock
No,
out,
it's a melee now. So now
the math on that
prior
center
to that
position is
occurring.
very difficult. And as good as these bounty
we
hunters
didn't
are,
properly cohere before
the
the
chance
thing.
that
you
they
should've-
actually strike the
should've
killing
pulled
blow
in
on Vader
before,
is no
yeah.
guarantee.
I would have put the
It's-
unit leader.
I would say it's no guarantee unless because he still hasn't
I would've
activated
just
Boba.
placed him.
So
Yep.
say these
I
darts
would've put
don't
him
die.
here.
Yep. Okay.
Boba's
that
going
works.
to move in,
Yep.
whipcord
So now
Vader.
those 2 die.
I think if they do die, Boba can move in and shoot Vader.
Right.
If they don't die,
Would you
Then
like
he'll
to take
whipcord
wounds?
him, and then pull what's remaining off
Yes.
next round.
yes,
Take a
exactly. Vader, I think because of the math, depending on the random pull from Vader from the
Is it-
stack, he could still have the last activation this round, in which case, if he goes last, he won't be able to move,
Right.
but he'll at least be able to get rid of that immobilize. So he's not going into the next round with immobilize. If he's standing in the open with immobilize, yes, he's dead. I think at this point, though, yeah, we're saying
It's dangerous to,
Vader's dead,
to see
in
when
my
that.
opinion.
Yes, when he pulls that Vader token is going to be really critical. But the fact that it's total RNG is going to be rough.
yeah.
Yeah.
So here we're seeing one of the advantages of running the 5-man darks. Sure, they die quicker, which kind of sucks, but when they eventually do die, you're not giving up 220 points, which is very hard to trade because there's almost no units in the game who are more than 220. You're only giving up 188 points if that was the programmed loyalty one, in which case, trading a dark for Vader, you're winning on kill points if you make that trade, if they're a 5-man squad.
Yeah, I mean, that's a trade I'd take any day.
Yeah, even if it's a 220-man squad, I'll take it because then if I still have a Dark Trooper left alive who wouldn't otherwise be, great for me.
Yeah, fantastic for me.
Yeah.
All right, it looks like Lila Claire moving on 2-0 against Michael Kalins-Kalinski from Team Poland.
How many points is
So
your
Lila
Vader?
Claire beating another Blizzard Force with her Black Sun skew.
Yeah. Love to see it.
Love to
Good
see
for
it.
her.
Good
That's
for her.
awesome.
That is crazy good. So Lila Claire once again a winner.
Is he the people's champion of this this event
Now that Dave Grant is out,
he's old news. Get him out of here.
And now that Michael Predes goes by Pally is out as well.
I think anybody that's destroyed as many bikes and Dark Troopers as her, I would say she's definitely the people's champion.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
As a former people's champion from last year's
There you go.
Adepticon,
Right,
I
with
would
the
definitely
FDs
say
and the
that.
land speeders. Yeah.
Just casually throwing that in there.
I'll just throw that in there very modestly.
I think I would agree, though. It's a proper assessment. You were the people's champion last year.
And your Vader is it 200 or 200 plus? 200 total.
I've resigned myself to the fact that the types of lists I play, I'll never be the people's champion.
No, everyone hates you. I'm just
well,
kidding.
I was trying at LVO. I was trying to make myself the bad boy of Legion, try to make that moniker stick. But when you try to start your own nickname, it never helps.
I know.
It never helps. You got to earn it.
It doesn't.
Yeah.
People have to give it to you.
Exactly.
I pull a commander. Where is she? She's over here.
But yes, if you can't be the face, be the heel. That's what I always say. Make the crowd care one way or another.
Aim to Boba.
Okay, so spottering and aim to Boba, which is very nice if he gets a shot off here. Man, Imperial Officer, so good. I think that's one of the units that if you're less experienced or newer to the game, you look at this 45-point unit and you're like, what is it doing? But a cheap body that gives a Inspire and Spotter. So clutch.
I've only got one in my stack.
And the command card or the command slot to take underworld connections or improvise.
Improvised orders, absolutely.
It's really good. Rebel Commander also pretty good, but the free aim.
It's the aim that makes
it is much better.
In
doesn't matter, I don't get lost anymore.
In the current popular and in any popular Empire list, that aim is just gold. It's just gold.
There's always someone. You're giving it to Boba, you're giving it to Darks, versus the Rebel officer giving a dodge to a random unit is not nearly the same impact.
Yay, I saved one Rebel trooper.
Yep. The game is not really in a spot where it's about defense and small wins and like slow attrition. It's go, 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 big offense, rolling more dice, aims lean into that a lot more than dodges.
Exactly.
So as we're winding down round 3 here, the main flashy things left I think are still Boba, and it's still the second activation for Vader. But the whipcord here is nearly useless.
Right, Vader's already stuck in. He's already caught a unit of Dark Troopers.
Yeah.
And it looks
I guess you would prevent him from chopping, because he can probably do 3, maybe 4, and kill those 2. If he has choke up, which I think he does,
Boba is
he can almost certainly wipe them and then move back if he wanted to.
Which doesn't mean a whole lot at the moment. It just puts 2 suppression on you.
Just what you were saying, Matt.
Yeah.
Whipcord doesn't do a whole lot right now.
Because Simple Man, we've already seen Simple Man, and we've already seen
ultimately
Whipcord.
Doesn't stop a lot.
Which means Vader's going to go first next turn.
Yes.
And he's at range 1 of Boba.
Stand by.
So, okay.
What's he doing?
Move
standby.
Move standby. Now, have those HRUs, I think, could potentially shoot that off.
They could shoot that off.
Have they already gone?
I think there should still be one.
I think I see a face down.
Maybe not.
Next to the HRU.
It's hard to track. He's standing right in front of it from my.
I was wondering. I'm wondering if we were going to see a move standby with Boba. We got it.
I don't.
Here comes Vader.
No surges.
I think Vader's just
now,
fine with. Well, it's a random
3.
pull.
Yeah.
Once you go back.
Yep.
So down to
looks like that's the unit.
Does he choose to pierce? I feel like Vader wants to.
No, because I only impact 3. You have 4 wounds there, right?
What did you roll?
No surges.
Oh, no surges.
crit.
Sorry.
Yeah.
So I just rolled 3 dice.
Oh,
I
it's
mean,
only
he could
3.
still kill him with choke, I think.
Okay, so it's.
You want to impact? You want to?
Down to 1. I will pierce the 1. So
Vader's fine just hanging out here. Like, I don't.
Pierce the 1.
I mean, yes, it does change things a little bit.
Leave the Dark Trooper alive. Standby goes off. Boba into melee.
Wow.
Boba will fly in.
standby?
Yeah.
Okay then. Boba's melee is okay, but it's not that okay.
Of course, you can check later. Okay. Yep.
Vader is safe now.
I was not anticipating that.
No.
I think that's a big misplay. If Boba moves back, what's Vader doing? He's stranded with 2 wounds. You've got Bosk, who has Reptilian Rampage and Lying in Wait, we have to think. Who can just pop right over, nuke Vader, and get a bounty.
I think I know what he's trying to do. He's trying to force either push or might to be expended so Vader can move again. I think that's the thought.
But Vader could just, like, pull Boba along with him and get out of danger and use Boba as a shield. Because with 2 wounds left, sure, dice can happen, but Boba's only rolling 3.
Yep.
Here comes the Vader's Might. We see Reptilian Rampage, which is what I was anticipating that.
Yeah.
But I don't think he's going to be able to get Boba off of Vader in order to take advantage of that Reptilian Rampage.
And I don't like the Reptilian here. I'd rather save it if I need to, like, triple move or something with Bosk on round 6. And because if you Reptilian and you end lying in wait, you want to lie in wait and sit there. But if Bosk ends his turn in a spot where he's shooting, and then he wants to sit there for a lot of activations next round, then he's going to be a sitting duck. He's going to be a target, right? I'd rather play lying in wait if he has it right now, and just accrue a lot of aims, pop out, and then next turn I have Reptilian. I can go first with it. I can chase Vader's. If Vader's running away, I can chase down Vader with 2 moves and a crit shot. And maybe I lose Bosk as a thing, but we're talking at that point, if they're shooting Bosk, that's less actions getting on KPs.
And we're going back to seeing a huge activation advantage now with Dustin, with eliminating that dark unit.
Yes, it's big.
And now we're going to see that play in. That is a huge component to KP on a round 6.
Yes, and for 2 reasons, right? Because obviously the darks are 2 activations. But the other thing is that now the bag, because there's no order control in the darks. The bag, instead of having 4 dark trooper tokens, where it's much easier to draw one randomly and then choose which one you want to go with. Now you've only got 2, right? So I've seen people who have been like, oh, it's just the unit leader left. I'm not going to kill that dark unit. And then it's like, well, great, I still have 4 dark troopers in the bag.
Right.
So then if I play a 1-pip or something, it's much more likely I randomly pull them and can go with the big unit because you've let the little unit run.
Yep.
So good job clearing those out, and especially no improvised and kind of useless core. Peter's at the mercy of his bag as to when those dark troopers are going to be able to activate.
Yes. Which will make things really hard round 5 and 6.
Yep.
With this KP objective.
This is now turn 4 of the game.
All right, I think we got to go with Vader before you kill him.
Ooh, I don't like going first with Vader, because then Boba will just withdraw wherever Boba ends up, and then Vader can be chased down.
Right.
Because if best case is Vader moves basically range 2 backwards, Vader's mites, Boba moves into him with Relentless, or maybe he takes a standby. That might be the play here. Just reposition Vader.
We should clean up some tokens.
Like Vader's might move standby into Boba, so that Boba can't withdraw.
He could also try to use Vader's might to juggle.
Yep.
To juggle.
So we're pushing Boba first.
Yeah.
See what the plan here is.
I don't see the point of using push when you Vader's might. If you want to do a standby, and if you're not doing a standby, I really don't like this move.
I want to clean up some, and I need another surge.
So I think we're going to see a Reptilian Rampage snipe of Vader right now.
He's going for it.
He's going to go into Boss.
We're going to jump in here on Boss.
Yep, he's going to go into assassinate Boss.
He's got to roll really well.
He would need 5 to kill Boss here.
Go for the 6.
Boss only has 7.
You got tenacity?
Yes.
About 33 minutes left in the round, everybody. And about 5 minutes till we're going to give away a set of Rebel Tarot cards. # giveaway in the chat.
I'm trying to figure out what his play here is with all these darks. Darks cannot be Vader's mighted. They are a heavy.
He gets the 6.
He gets the 6. That's a dead Boss.
Well, he'd never say never, but yes.
Boss is dead.
Dead Boss.
Yeah. So Reptilian shut down.
Yeah, and as I say, I think he has lying in wait, so that's no more. That's no.
Well,
Well, he played standing orders though, so he should still have a command card. Probably like making his way in the galaxy next turn. But now all those bikes can collapse on
Boba.
Well, Boba hasn't activated yet.
Active face up on the table until the end of the round.
Now they're asking about passing.
Order token. Yeah.
If he dies, the order token.
Oh, it comes off. Okay.
Yeah, if he's dead, the order token does come off.
Might will be this squad.
But now, I mean, Vader was already pretty.
Face up,
Dang, Boba can come around and try to get the kill shot on Vader for the bounty, but then he's getting shot up by a bunch of bikes and HRUs at least.
He's going to Vader's might here. These
Vader's might.
You roll it or I roll it?
I don't give a shit.
So
the storms could just punch Vader to death.
3 are dead.
Oh, well, 3 of them die on Vader's might,
Oh my
so
goodness.
that's very nice for Vader. Some good protection.
That is.
Okay. So I'm only stuck.
Wait, does it kill models or does it do? Oh,
Yeah,
because those are storms.
Yeah, there were storms.
Okay, those are storms.
He mited the storms into him. Rolled 3 of 4.
Command up.
So the commander's just going to spot
Aim on them.
Yeah.
I don't know. Vader is, playing a dangerous game here, but I feel like Dustin has map control and.
Sorry?
I think Vader's already dead in my mind.
Yes.
Yeah.
But
He's
If he
taking
takes-
as much out as he can.
if he
right
takes
now.
actions to kill him, right?
You do.
You know,
Right.
if the if Peter has to use dark troopers to kill Vader, those are dark trooper shots that aren't going into anything else.
Vader, I'm already dead,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And maybe he's not. He can definitely. He's got red surging saves.
Right.
And dark troopers don't have. Well, he's immune pierce anyways,
He's
but
immune
like
to Pierce, but Dark Troopers still have to chop through that.
you know, he could go 7 for 7 and just live. That happens a lot.
And Vader currently has 5 wounds, or is it 4?
5 wounds, so he has
5,
2 left
okay.
to give. Because he took 2, and then
That's
he took
Commando.
3 off of the standby.
Right. Those 2 wounds at the bottom of the those are boss. They're about to remove those.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, those were busts. Good for Dustin shutting
Over
down
here.
that reptilian rampage before it goes off. It took a risk to do that, but paid
Yeah.
off.
It did.
And I mean, Boba is in the bag, so there is potential that these bikes just can swoop in and hammer Boba. Because that's the thing now, even if Boba tries to go for the bounty, he still has to survive to the end of the game to score it.
He does, yeah.
Which is definitely no guarantee, specifically since there's no way he's getting out of line of sight, I think, even with a speed 3. So either Boba's double moving or he's inviting a lot of risk. Now, of course, Peter does have to start using actions with like the HRUs to start moving forwards.
And Dustin, yeah.
Yeah, or yeah, Dustin does.
Peter's one thing that I'm really concerned about is the amount of units that can score KP in general.
Yeah.
Is we're getting down there for
He's
Xiconia
got,
at this point.
like, yeah, because there's the single storm, there's the officer, Dark Troopers, another snow, and Boba. Dark Troopers, as much as they're 2 activations, they still only count for 1 at the end of the game.
Yeah.
It's not a lot. They have to do a lot of killing, and that relies on dice, which, as good as Dark Troopers are at killing, they're not one-shotting a full bike unit necessarily all the
So
time.
we've got LJ random pulling from the bag here for Dustin.
Oh,
Or no, give him a shuffle there.
the thruffle's the only way.
The thruffle.
So we're going to see an HRU activate here, or we're going to...
I would think just move up and shoot Boba.
That's what I would want to do, personally.
So one of the reasons on something like KP, I really like saving Whipcord for late. I understand why he played it. But it opens up things with Boba where you can move in and engage something to stay safe, and then Whipcord get out. And double move from him, he can threaten a lot of different
regretting
KPs.
our choices about these disc terrain things. I think we should have said they were area.
Yeah, it's tough, Matt, because as the Boba player, seeing how close Vader was to my army, I would be concerned about that.
I think you have to do. I think in this case you've got to use it early as that deterrent. I think that was the right play, but it just means that right now Boba's very vulnerable to someone double moving into him and tying him down.
And keeping him there the whole game. Yeah.
Just gonna throw him.
Right
away.
So we got the HRU shot. That is a good amount of hits in general. Yeah.
HRUs, man. Don't forget, Blizzard Force still gross.
They ruled it. That's 4 wounds.
Oof, that was an open shot.
That was an open shot.
I'm getting PTSD from this morning. Oh, dear.
Did this happen to you, Matt? I was playing a pickup game on the other side. I could hear how it sounded like your opponent's dice were really hot.
It was, let's just say I was the one whose Boba went 2 for 7 on saves this morning.
No.
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
So,
I'm sorry.
Okay, we have to try and draw him.
Yeah, that's awful. I'm sorry.
We just saw what, a 1 for 5.
1 for 5, yeah.
Core. Leave Vader.
That's big because Boba's still in the bag.
All right, I'll take another
in the
surge.
bag.
Yep.
Yeah.
And kind of whatever Dustin pulls, if it's as long as it's not the officer, but I think he's got improvised orders, right? So
yeah, he's going to grab a bike, and that bike's going to get another shot.
It's a bike, or it's another HRU shot.
Right. Either one is great
Probably
for Dustin.
a dead Boba.
Yeah.
We will.
Because just because
blanking 1 is pretty high likelihood.
If he can force 3 saves, that's on average 1 wound.
Yep.
Right. It's not like because Boba blanked out 4 that now he's going to make all the saves. That's just not how probabilities
no, it's not
work.
how it works. Yeah.
So he just needs to force 3 saves to kill Boba on average. Even 2 saves on Boba, it's a 55% chance that he blanks 1 of them. So it's better than 50-50 with just 2 saves.
Look at that shoulder pad.
That Aussie shoulder pad.
This is beautiful. Xiconia is sporting a German top because he plays with the Germans all the time, but he's got a Australian flag on his right sleeve because he hails from Australia, and you can see that on those Dark Troopers. That looks fantastic.
Yes, very nice.
So double aim shot.
Yep, double aim shot.
All right.
All right, folks, last chance to enter the giveaway for some Rebel Tarot cards. Last chance, guys.
Stand first one here.
Two black?
So here's a range 4 shot.
I gotta reroll that white one twice.
Oh no, this is
a bike.
a bike
this
shot.
has to be a bike.
Yeah, this is a bike shot.
I think they transponders.
Yeah.
One to cover 4.
So 4 into Boba. And
That's
there he
dead.
goes.
Oh,
Oh,
wow.
my goodness. Boba getting wiped out.
As much as I love Boba, I've had too many games like this.
This is not looking great.
Where it's like, 2 for 7, 1 for 6, 3 for 8.
2 for 9 right there.
Yeah, 2 for 9. Like, it's honestly, it feels like half the games that Boba has to make saves that happens, and obviously
Can't
that's
claim a bounty
not
anymore. So
that's not like
blast away.
It's bias.
Aim.
It's biased towards remembering the bad ones, but
it is.
Aim.
He's only 5 wounds at the end of the day, and a little bit of bad variance. It's the Mando problem.
Yeah.
Move so that you're out of cover.
I've got a bunch of guys in my local crew that always talk about how
shoot
hot
better.
my dice are, but all I remember are the times that they're terrible.
Yeah.
That's your brain. Your brain's programmed to do that.
I know.
Yeah.
No suppression
All right,
on
we're
that,
drawing
so
the
1.
winner in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Red dice.
Adlerath, are you in the chat? Adlerath.
Nice.
Over to you.
Congratulations, you've won a set of Rebel Tarot cards.
Congrats,
Well done.
Adlerath.
They
Good
look
job.
And I'll
Dope.
say now you can go twice. So
Huh?
I'll pass.
You'll pass.
Next activation. We need some Dark Troopers to.
So you need to type
Represent
exclamation
Australia.
point claim to claim your prize.
Oh, so Vader is gone.
Maybe we just go
Yeah, Vader's dead.
over here.
But with Boba dying, that's
Sure, nothing.
it's basically Dark Troopers have to do
One-
everything now, and
yeah.
they can't. I don't think they can.
I don't think they can kill
I think
4
this
bikes.
game's over.
One
yeah.
Dark Troopers versus 4 bikes. Yeah, this game might very well be
on
over.
2 KPs, right?
Yeah.
On 2 KPs.
So now he's got a total of 4 acts that he has to score.
The Darks could nuke multiple bike units.
They could.
And they just have to put 2 things on wherever the bikes go. Because that officer and that stormtrooper aren't doing anything.
Aw.
These snows aren't going to be fast enough
close.
to get to one of the big KPs. So their best case is probably backcapping the tree. It's that Boba variance, not pulling him from the stack as well.
It was tough.
Yeah, no order control.
Because he used Boba as simple man.
Right.
Yeah, I think that was probably aggressive.
Did he do it just to get the range?
Yeah, it was.
Moving
I
in.
think it was turn 2 because he moved Boba up and then did a simple man shot on Vader. He got the 2 wounds early on Vader, which was nice, but burning
Moving
your
in.
C's early when you have Bosk cards in the bag,
Yeah.
I really don't like it. I think for me, as much as I love that simple man ability,
It's so great late, like mid to
Just-
late game though.
you need to keep C's, and if you need to settle for, okay, I'm going to do the speed 1 move, you settle for the speed 1 move.
Just
Right.
confirming Marcus Wacker of Germany, Matten, did win his 2nd game. He
Nice.
is moving on.
All right.
So Germans.
2-0.
We welcome our new German overlords.
Yeah.
Maybe 3.
Ich fühle mich
That's
Disco
3.
representing.
No, 4. I played standing orders. I pass. I remembered to do it this time.
Time check, it is looking like 22 minutes left. With all the stuff that's died, perhaps we can get to round 6. Oh.
With the amount of bodies that Dustin has that are in position to take that midpoint, it's
Dustin. Dustin is fine if it ends early.
I think it's possible that we see this at 3-0.
Yeah, Dustin has an overwhelming advantage.
It's possible.
And with
if he wants to flex.
If he wants to flex.
If he wants to flex, he doesn't need
if we were doing MOV,
they kill Vader.
it's very possible.
You do it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, remember, they only have to start round 6 before final round is called, so they have 22 minutes to finish round 4 and play round 5, so I think they're okay now, given how much stuff is now off the board. But of course, now is when decisions become harder and harder.
All right, guys, it's time to.
Okay, it's time for Darks to just go bananas.
Yep, they got to start deleting things.
So they had one aim from the last section.
Yeah, so this is their second activation this round.
Yeah.
And the thing with going that way with the Darks, now they are committed to that bottom KP.
Yeah, you can see every model in the unit.
That top KP is
for the dream.
out of play. Dustin can send his single bike model to that KP and just overwhelm the other one. Right? The intentions have been declared with the Darks.
That surge is a crit. Yep. You have heavy cover.
We got 4 coming in.
That could wait.
They've got 5.
I think there's still 5. Yeah, that's a full man.
Oh.
And they get a good save.
Yeah, I can't
Vader
tell.
needed those
It's at least one. Oh.
It's 3 for 4.
Vader bought his value.
Sorry?
I'm not going to complain. Vader bought his value.
Yeah, Dustin's saying he cannot complain about Vader's performance in this game.
Yeah.
Vader did exactly what he needed to.
Yeah, he was traded for a Dark Trooper
I'm
and
out.
Boba Fett.
And Boss.
Yes, the way things turned
Bosk.
out with Boba Fett, I think he took a bit of a gamble because Boba Fett Peter could have pulled Boba Fett, but given that what happened, obviously the gamble paid off great.
It did. And here comes the bike to threaten the back line.
Yeah.
Yep.
Here they come.
Yeah, he doesn't need to move into range. He can go skirt right around that rock if he wants.
He's just moving, pivoting. He's just setting up. He's just getting the bikes ready.
Yep.
Hello.
Sorry?
It's a tough match. I was worried when they were putting him. I saw a setup and I was like, ooh, I'd give Dustin the advantage here. And then, round 2 or 3, I was like, oh man, Xiconia might be able to get this. And then it kind of turned back Dustin's way again.
Never mind. My commander is my commander.
Mecha Wadzilla, we are streaming 4 games today. What a name. All right, round 5 coming up. Command cards going in the tray. I'm pretty sure all of Peter's command cards are dead at this point. It is going to be. Oh no, he has pin down still. Never mind. That's like his last card that he could play apart from standing orders. I'm fairly certain.
At least it gets order control on the Darks, so you can go late when you need them to go.
I think pin down is just if I'm playing Darks, that is my favorite card.
I think here we're seeing some of maybe the weakness of going the double bounty variant. Other than order control on the Darks, it's also just order control on the bounty hunters because I guess the good thing is you have 2 bounty hunters, so if they're both alive, you can it's more likely that you draw one of their tokens out of the bag. But there's so many turns when they need to seize, when they're playing each other's cards, when you play pin down and neither of them get an order. It's a tricky dance to do.
Yeah, the improvised orders helps, but it only helps so much.
He doesn't have improv because he's got to use. You have to use Underworld.
Underworld.
You have to use Underworld.
Yeah.
That is very challenging. That is very challenging.
1. Heavy cover. 3.
3 coming in. We do get 2 blanks.
2. Yep.
So, HRUs are holding strong with 2 models left.
What do we got going on here? Repent. They're not happy.
I'm pretty sure those are the tech priests.
That's awesome.
Saying that ChatGPT is heresy.
Repent sinners.
Repent sinners.
We've had some pretty decent cosplay.
Oh yeah.
Walking around every now and then in the con.
There was a great Mandalorian that came by.
Oh,
yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
All Mandalorians are great.
There was a Vader as well. No, this was the Mandalorian.
This is the way.
Yeah.
What time is left? Do we know?
16 minutes.
Yeah.
Yep.
We're on 5 right now?
They're starting 5.
I think it's looking pretty good for you.
If they make it move, they can do it.
No, I just mean like.
But I think if you're Peter, you've got to make sure you touch some points just in case it clocks out. You don't want the, oh, shoot. That's the end of the round. That's time, and we're going to end this round. And,
right, and I guess I forgot to do my KP.
Yeah, and I lose. Yeah.
Right. Trying to figure out what's the.
Getting clocked is the worst way to lose Legion for sure.
True.
Oh, 100%.
So we're on 5, hey?
I have a distinct memory of a game where I nearly got clocked, and I let out a really frustrated grumble when we were just finished, and my opponent clocked, or when the judge clocked me. And we had literally just put we just gone to our command hand, and the judge clocked me, and thankfully he relented.
Yeah.
But it was really close because we had our command cards in our hand.
Yeah.
And so it was just that close, right?
If
we were even like a microsecond.
Yeah, because then I guess technically you've started the round.
Right. We're in the command.
You're in the command card phase.
Right. We're in the command phase.
Exactly.
Yeah. So we started the command phase right as the time ran out. So that was super close. But that was back in the early days of an RPQ where it was like land speeder, rebel rabble, like just single land speeder, no Luke, and like just craziness.
No wonder you needed all 6 rounds to win.
I lost to Wookiee ATRT spam.
Oh my goodness.
Because Wookiees and ATRTs were shredding rebel troopers at that time. I didn't understand just how brutal Wookiees could be.
Was that post-buff Wookiees or
pre-buff?
Yep. Okay.
Pre-buff Wookiees, and I didn't have an answer for ATRTs. I only had the rocket gunner on the land speeder.
Here come bikes. What's he going to shoot at with the bikes? He's moving up. I think he's probably just going to shoot the officer.
Yep.
I would think.
There's a unit that's fallen off Wookiees.
They have.
The scale change really hurt them. Plus, just the meta. They're not a great fit.
Yeah, they're not a great pick.
I have a list that I call 13 Wookiees and a whiner. It's triple Wookiee, Chewbacca, Luke, and 3 naked fleets, and it's just so much fun.
It's fun.
It's
yeah,
such
those
a fun
units
list.
are so fun to play.
There's that. There's the Chewie Yoda with triple Wookiees.
Oh, yeah.
Like there's their mobility just into the officer 2 wounds. Their mobility took a big hit, and there's so many dice pools, right?
Yeah,
like,
large dice pools.
Like Blizzard just says, okay, well here's the bombard card and suppressive.
Yeah.
Great. Darks just say, hey, well, I'll shoot you. Sure, you can maybe shoot me range 3 with your bowcaster and take out half a model. Okay.
That's okay.
Right.
It's just a tough time to be a Wookiee for sure.
It is.
Almost as tough as when the Empire took over their home planet.
Almost.
Yeah.
Why don't I put a token?
Yeah, this game looking very good for Dustin. Not a whole lot that one unit of Dark Troopers can do against this massive units left.
He needs to delete an activation every time he attacks. And, and that's not happening right now.
Maybe then some.
Yes.
Because he's doing that with moving, so he's not recovering his gun other than cycle. He's not getting extra aims other than, entourage and maybe spotter. Yeah, here the bikes come.
Yeah, they're just leaping forward now.
I'm not sure. This is the single bike?
No, it's a double bike.
This is a double bike? Okay, its buddy is somewhere else.
Yeah, it's back on the left side. There
it is.
It's just going to take a shot into those snows.
Yep.
I think that was a triple move. Oh, no, it was just a double. Okay.
I tried to save him.
Oh, no, it was a triple move.
Oh, it was? Okay.
Okay.
But not onto a KP, so we'll see. Maybe. He's still in an okay spot, but I'm still worried about getting clocked out here. It's not so much the time, the finish round 5 for sure. It's more so just if you activate all the things that could touch the KPs, then you'll just have nothing left to activate that can score. So here comes some darks.
Got him.
Okay, got 2 more. So that's good, but I think that took the launcher to do it. Of course, they probably won't get another range 2 opportunity here.
So Matt, I wanted to take some time to congratulate you on your second round win today.
Oh, yeah, thank you very much, yeah. It's impressive how I can get a win while also streaming.
It is fantastic.
I can multitask with the best
of them. That's the dream right there, being
Yeah.
able to play in a tournament and stream.
Easiest win I've had all weekend, too,
Oh,
gotta
man.
say.
These games are just so fun and
They're
so
great.
brutal.
And, like, I got to play against an Australian, an American, whatever, an Italian, and a Pole. So it was just
awesome.
A little sample platter of the world.
Yeah.
I guess mostly Europe and Oceania. So, like, if I could get South American in the last round, I think I hit up everyone that's here almost. So that would be great. I know there's a great Argentinian contingent. They seem to have a really good Legion scene.
I played against an amazing Argentinian last Adepticon. His name is Facu. He was just a wonderful guy. It was a fun game, and so it's cool to see them come up for this.
I'll do it if you let me.
All right, we're shooting snow.
Yep.
So we got some more results coming in from the rest of the tournament.
Orange.
Tim Veldhuis has won his game against Mitchell.
Yep, you got him in the open.
That's Timbo on the Discord.
Timbo on the Discord. And then Paul Paella taking out Ben Shi of the 5280 Legion.
Here's another bike shot.
Did you blow for, yep.
So they used their transponder to get aim, and that's a lot of dice. I think that was a full boat.
And two blocks, or two blanks.
That's pretty good, but that's the only back cap unit. So yeah, as you say, 3-0 is looking very likely here.
Yeah.
I pull Sid Snows.
They should have a suppression.
How
right
they
now.
feeling?
How are they feeling? Not good.
Is this going to be a move shoot?
Oh, that move shoot with 2 white.
Let's see the double crit. Let's go.
I think there's a bike there that just has 1 wound left to give for a model, so.
Shoot at the 2 wounders.
No.
Nothing.
No, cover 1.
Yep.
Area heavy. All you, sir. Yeah.
It's been a rough game. Xiconia played some very tough stuff, and he's been a great sport as well.
For sure. Yeah, I'm sure internally he's raging maybe about that what happened with Boba there, but externally he's
He's cool as a cucumber.
Cool as a cucumber, so gotta commend him for that.
Yep.
We up to round 6 right now, or are we still 5?
I think we're
still finishing up.
We're still finishing
5,
at 5.
I think.
Yeah, Dustin's saying they're gonna move shoot.
But it is moving along at a good pace. I think we. Oh no, that's both dark activations. Time check. We are at 8 minutes until final round is called. 8 minutes.
Yeah, I mean they're gonna start 6.
I think they should.
I think they will.
They're gonna get into that last round there. So who is playing Kyle Dornbos in the final? Actually, there's a really cool match that we did not get on stream going on right now. It's Seth Roche versus Kyle Dornbos.
Yeah, we don't have results on that.
We don't have the results on that. I think
I keep looking, yeah.
It's still in progress, and both of those guys I'm friends with. I'm pulling for both of them.
Yeah, it was funny. We were eating lunch together, and then I told them, like, hey, you two, if you guys are playing at the finals, I'm happy. You're 2 of the guys that I want to win. Them and Mike. And are the guys I'm pulling for, and then the pairs came up, and they're playing each other.
Yeah, they came up.
So
there it is.
I'm pulling for Seth, of course, because I do a podcast with him. But
yeah, you do the Bombad Generals with Seth.
Yeah. But if Kyle wins, I can't begrudge that. Like, Kyle's a great guy, and Personally, I love to see greatness. I'm a guy who didn't hate on the Patriots because, like, I like seeing dynasties and greatness, and that's what Kyle Dornbos is.
Wow.
So.
You're an Alabama fan too?
No.
Surprising.
Yeah.
Rather, the question should be who is going to take second against Kyle in the final. Well, if I was a betting man and someone asked me who would be the two people who would go to this tournament, I would say the final would be Kyle Dornbos versus Finn from Germany.
Yeah, who's also playing Blizzard.
Who's also playing Blizzard,
Yes.
I was saying, before this event, I think that a Blizzard Force with a bit of extra tech for Darks is, I think, by far the best meta choice right now, and that's what Finn's running. That's what Kyle's running.
Yep.
Okay.
Players are going to play round 6,
Okay.
but they're taking a brief bathroom break.
Yeah,
they're
so
just going to take a brief bathroom break.
I never said I was a Patriots fan. I said I didn't hate on the Patriots. I appreciate greatness.
Right.
I'm not a Patriots fan.
Right, there's a difference.
Yeah, there's a difference. There were a lot of haters, and I was like, you know what? They're not like the team I cheer for.
No, I don't think Luke Cook he won his first.
He won his first
He's
round
still
today.
in.
He's still in. He
Yes.
lost round 1 yesterday, but it's submarined up, and he won first round today.
Yeah, he wasn't
not
eliminated.
reporting yet.
I was on the other end of that where I won my first game and then submarined and drowned. And
It was,
my submarine filled up with water.
It did.
It's now at the bottom of the ocean.
We're way down there, man. Keep trying to update my game up links.
I know. I never
can watch these.
I never know if I have to hit refresh on the page or not to get a proper update. But
yeah,
trying to watch this game, trying to stay on top of that. It's been a spicy weekend, and it won't stop.
All right, so Oscar is moving on. I don't know if you guys know Oscar, but I've kind of been paying attention to him over the past 2 days. And
I don't know Oscar
He
very
has
much.
been
I don't know him
smashing
well.
some
Does he have a
large
Discord
folks.
name? Do we know where he's from?
I don't
It's
know.
just a guy
He's
named
from
Oscar.
Poland.
He's a Polish dude.
All
Yeah.
I've been
Cool.
watching is his opponents, and all of them have been fantastic, and he's just been beating every one of them. I'm like, who is this Oscar guy?
That'd be great.
Yeah.
I know Poland has like a thriving X-Wing scene that's very good and competitive, so I wouldn't be surprised that similarly with Legion, they're just taking the same approach.
Oh, I'm looking at day 1. I'm sorry.
Ah, there you go.
I'm cheating already.
Yeah, I'm not seeing a report for the Luke Cook game or the Oscar game.
Okay,
Yeah, Luke's playing Tom Patton. He's also a very, very good player.
Yeah,
I've had
Tom Patton out of California, excellent player.
Yeah, I've gotten the honor to play with him 3-4 times. It feels like most tournaments we're kind of running into each other. So I think he's probably playing Blizzard. He's playing Blizzard at LVO. He knows the list well.
I first met Tom back when I was living in California, and we played at a local game store. He kicked my butt multiple times.
Yeah.
He was always the guy who would come to my local and be like, "I need to beat this guy."
That guy will touch.
Yeah.
And like sometimes I would win, but it was pretty rare. He was usually kicking my butt.
Yeah,
So.
it's the kind of guy where, hey, if I can take one game off in once in a while, I'm feeling great
I
about
feel pretty
myself,
good,
right?
yeah.
This is the real earned victory.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, it looks like Oscar is playing the last remaining Rebel player, Nick Post, Tyrini.
Oh yeah.
Well,
So-
we'll see how that
See how
goes.
that goes. We don't have a result on that.
It's a Rebel player, so as good as Mr. Nick Tyrini might be, I fear that it's not going to go his
It's
way.
not just any Rebel player; it's a Rebel double T-47.
It
We'll
is.
see.
It is.
We'll see. T-47s, I love them, but on a long event like this, they're paper thin. They can be paper thin in a meta where everyone's bringing impact.
I would have
I can claim this point, but you've
anticipated
got 2
that
bikes
not
there.
doing very well,
I need
and
to-
here we are. So Nick Post is
2
continuing
wounds
to do
there and
great,
2 wounds there
and
on the bike,
good
so.
for him. And I hope that he
Really-
continues.
we're
because
really not looking good.
I'm-
One-shotting the
I'm
off-star.
surprised, and it's great. It's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, one thing to always remember as well for tournaments like this is that, as much as you want to prepare for the
dream is
meta
gone.
monsters,
One win,
there are
one
people who
goal.
get through, you can go very deep
Weapon
not
recovers.
playing them, which means, great, you dodge those, but you also have to have a plan for everything
Have you
else.
planned
For
out?
all the
Right?
other stuff.
You can't just run
We can-
purely
we can start
skew
shit talking
to
and saying
beat
inappropriate
one
things
list
on
because
stream
the chances that you actually play against it pretty low.
Peter's like, we can start saying inappropriate things on the stream now. Since they're like getting ready to.
The Germans have been teaching me all of their team songs. They're really interesting.
Oh, if we say it in German, then no one will know.
Disco.
Yeah. Other than the Germans, but they won't complain, right? They can't put it into Google Translate at AMG because they can't. You can't spell any of those German words. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. What was that word they said? I don't know.
Whatever it is in any language, I don't think I want it.
Yeah, exactly. This is a classy production.
Yeah, trying to keep it PG.
Trying to keep it PG, but you put Darks versus Blizzard Force.
I know.
Yeah.
That's R-rated right there, man.
You're an animal.
That's what we're gonna see in like the next 3 rounds.
That's unfortunately true. This isn't even like what I would consider like the worst in air quotes variation of double Dark Troopers. I think like Palpatine double Dark and like Boba IRG Dark Trooper with a medic.
I'm still
or Palp double Dark and IRG.
Oh yeah, they all have he has an IRG.
Right.
My experience, despite my poor showing this weekend, I still, maybe it's just my own bias, I still really like my version with the 6-man Darks and Boba.
Trooper, yeah, the extra
and no
trooper
IRG. It's the extra
so
trooper
hard.
and it's the order control that the Shores and Mortars give you.
Right.
Yeah.
Because as I say, turn 1, it's supplemental damage. You don't have useless core. The crits from the Mortars, the suppression, it's big, especially into HH-12s. The more suppression, the less they're recovering and shooting their rocket.
We agreed that just touching the base is touching the pillar.
And you can reverse sort your bag. So rule with respect. Boba gets an order, Shores get an order, Mortars get an order.
Yep.
Your bag, you have Dark Troopers all in the bag, right? Yep. And again, if you're going later with Dark Troopers, you're happy. So I still really like that version, but of course, IRG, great. You run into someone with piercing impact,
yes.
You can use the IRG against the piercing impact and really keep those Darks alive. You have Palp, you can get a 3rd attack off. Probably not with the launcher, because of the cycle and tapping it, but their regular gun is very good. Or you can get an extra move off as well, right? So
I hear seven or 8 blacks with critical 1 are pretty decent.
Yeah,
all right.
Yeah, pretty great. So especially if you load a couple aims behind it.
Yeah,
that's it. But let's see if.
And of course, you still have Palpatine. I think the great thing is, if you're concerned about the mirror, Boba is fantastic in the mirror because he can go last with the rocket, go first with Simple Man. He can pick up a lot of darks with that piercing surge crit impact. Whereas Palpatine, on average, he's getting maybe 1 dark body off with every time he wounds himself with jazz hands.
One thing I really like about the Palp list that Bees is running is that he has a little bit higher of a bid than most other dark players.
The bid helps.
And the blue deck with Palpatine is horrifying.
The blue deck for double darks in general is surprisingly great for a weird reason, and it's the conditions. Usually the conditions are kind of an afterthought and it's whatever, but I didn't get it to come off this weekend, unfortunately, when I need it, but I've had games where it's like, you've got Linviz and you got Rapid. You got to choose between one or the other.
That's exactly what happened to me round 2 yesterday. I had to pick between those two, and it was...
Especially, with FDs, it's kind of game over.
It was like, I kind of lost.
Rapid's almost always a bad choice.
It is.
And they're just both ways to make it so that by the time the darks get in, they're not taking damage on the way in.
Exactly.
Right?
You'll be right.
So the conditions are surprisingly good. And of course, the deployments so that you get close deployments so they're in there quickly. You don't want to have to play breakthrough bombing run. So you want to, there's many reasons to bid with double darks.
Yeah.
Yeah,
for those of you still following the game, the Fat KP has been taken over by Dustin.
Yeah.
So
Brian called it here.
The Snows got killed by bike models.
R.I.P. I think now we're down to a single stormtrooper and a full dark unit.
Yeah. Great.
HRU's not doing a ton.
She loves it.
Officer's still
the officer is still kicking somewhere. Okay.
Officer has 3 wounds right now.
Pulling from the stack.
She's hidden in there with all the other Dark Troopers.
Yeah.
Now the singular stormtrooper trying to get something done here, trying to get onto that point. Peter saying maybe I can get 1 point here.
Yeah. playing for pride right now.
Absolutely.
One thing I love about the setup for today is it's not single elims. So even if you go down, you're going to play your next round is going to be against another fantastic player, and it's just going to be a fun game.
That's the good thing about keeping Swiss going, right? Is that I was actually talking with this about Patrick on one of my recent podcasts. It's nice, like the 2-1 advance is nice and all that, but if you do like 6-round Swiss, which I think is where Legion is headed, the good thing is even if you lose, like you're still getting meaningful games in late in an event versus when it resets or when you have a redemption bracket, maybe you're back to square one where you're having, players of vastly different skill levels playing against each other, and neither one is really getting much out of it. Whereas if you stick with Swiss, even if you're already eliminated, you're still getting valuable games against experienced, or players of similar experience and skill. Yeah. So I think that's where things are going. I think LVO for next year has already confirmed they're doing 6 rounds of Swiss,
right?
Instead of 2-1s through to day 2 and then 3-0s.
Exactly.
All right.
So that's exciting to see how that will go.
Yeah, and shameless plug here, Indy Open in June 16th, 17th is also going to be 6-round Swiss.
Nice, good move.
It's going to be 3 games on one day and 3 on the other.
That's the way to do it for sure.
Yeah.
So 64 player is what you're shooting for? Nice.
Yep. There's about 38 signed up currently.
She's dead.
That's correct. Kyle Dornbos is running 4 by Blizzard with double Ion Snows.
It's just going to be the rocket
drop
into
transponders
the
and training upgrades off of Vader to get 2 Ion Snows and keep a decent bid.
Yeah.
I'm going to try and claim the point. Yeah. There we go. So can we one-shot the officer? No. Just one.
Darks looks like they're trying to split some fire around and kill as many things as possible.
And the other squad, 4.
Splitting fire, trying
they do have grip 1 on that pool.
To take out multiple activations in one.
Yeah. All right, we can call it there if you like, because I'm out, and
I already got 2.
You're going to get 3-2. 3-3.
All right, there's the handshake. Dustin, KUPiranha, Grorud taking down.
Boba would have been interesting if he killed Vader.
Taking down the game.
I have, yeah.
Like I was terrified trying to find a way out.
Yeah.
Excellent game. Good sports.
Very good sportsmanship.
Yeah.
You kept saying like,
But Dustin is moving on. Peter, unfortunately, taking a loss there. Not going to be part of the top 8.
Bounty and run
I
away.
believe that is Peter's first loss for the last 2 days.
First loss of the entire,
to get out.
Yeah.
I needed order control to get out. I was terrified you were going to get back.
Well, guys,
that was a nice spot to hide Vader. I think if I kill Vader here, I've got lying in wait and rocket.
All right, let's. We're gonna take a short break, guys. Brian, you want to tell them where to go sign up for Indy Open? You can tell them that.
There we go.
Oh, yeah, it's Indy Garrison. Let me pull it up. I've got a little card here. Just a second.
Yeah.
Oh, it's just.
It's a QR code.
Just a QR code.
But
tell them what the QR code looks like.
I know, right? It's a square.
It's a square and then another square. And then a black splotch.
So just look up.
And then another one.
Yeah, just look up Indy Garrison, and it'll pop up there.
Yeah.
And if you have any, you can contact. Go to the Indy Garrison Discord or contact Flawed Zombie on Discord. He's the one that's in charge of everything.
Yeah, he's pretty active, so you should see him talking if you're looking for where is this guy, you should find him.
Yep.
Awesome.
Yeah, Luke Cook is not out. He's still in progress. We're going to take a short break, guys, while we switch the table. You can visit Game Uplink to track the results of the tournament. I'm going to throw the link in chat real quick. I believe it's this link right here.
Yep, so that'll go to the lists. You can also look at results on a different tab once you're there.
All right, guys, I want to say thank you to Matt Bronson of the Bombad Generals.
Thank you.
For coming along and casting with us. I know you're going to go back to playing after this round.
That's the idea. I don't think they can give me another bye.
I don't think they can give you a second bye. And thank you, Brian Bear, goes by Wee Bear, from Indie Garrison for coming on to co-cast with me.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you to Zane, and thank you to Seth from Bombad Generals as well for everything he's done for the stream, or they've done for the stream, excuse me.
I haven't done a lot, full disclosure, but I'll take credit.
Yeah, feel free.
Have you used the terminology, this is the Yavin Base stream brought to you by the Bombad Generals?
Not just yet.
If you haven't, I think we're got to sue.
Okay, maybe you'll sue me.
Yeah. Awesome.
Right,
great
guys.
stream, David.
Thanks.
Appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
Of course, my pleasure. And guys, if you haven't done so, visit patreon.com/YavinBase. Support the stream. It lets us do more of these events throughout the year. I'm going to try to do all of the major tournaments throughout this year. I'm going to try to get out to them and stream them, but I need your help to do that. So visit patreon.com/YavinBase. Become a patron today. And thank you so much, guys, for all your support. And we'll be back after a short break with more from the Adepticon 2023 Star Wars Legion Tournament World Championships. We will be back.